need permits there, right?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to MinusOneCHarisma, Dungeons and Dragons stream where we are not a sex cult, but not for lack of trying.
Not for
We'll
lack
get
of
there.
trying.
What do you think
All
of
right.
that?
Yeah.
Last week on Dungeons and Dragons.
We made it to Hojo in luxury.
And
Surrounded
no
by
one
gold
died.
and trinkets, tons of money. Trust was alive again. It
Yeah.
was a beautiful
Oh,
time
yeah.
in all of our lives.
Trust woke
And
up.
then you wake up
Ah, shit.
on the boat of the Coco 3. Aboard your boat, tentatively the Coco 3, you drift from the small hut inhabited by the strange being dubbing himself the Fisher King. Very important. The Fisher King. The shore is
We're
a
gonna get
glow
tested later. Or...
bright red orange sand that runs up to the thousands of towering spires that make up the Ellabryn. The Fisher King's warnings of danger echo through your mind, as well as a clue to finding the hidden city of Hojo, a hunt for moving shadows. You're up on the deck of your ship as you feel a hot breeze flow from the west along with dark clouds upon the horizon. And that is where we begin.
I was like, whoa, man, I hear it.
Didn't know we had sound effects now too. It's awesome.
Yeah, everybody's responsible for a half hour.
Yeah.
I am on it. Don't
In the
you?
distance.
Don't tempt me.
Thunder.
Yeah,
It's like suddenly chickens everywhere.
Sea chickens.
Oh my god. I could see that in your world actually. Like we're just out there sailing,
And
we're
there's,
like
like,
nothing
chickens
can get us
paddling.
here. Yeah, and it's just like 5,000 fucking paddling sea chickens. And he's like, yeah, you think they're cute until they get hungry. And it's like, oh god, no. Not
In
the
The
sea
Legend
chicken.
of Zelda for Super Nintendo, if you attack a chicken too often, like 1,000 of
They
them just
all
start
attack
flying from
you.
off screen and try and kill you. It's kind of amazing. That's all I imagine.
That's fucking
Teaches you
fantastic.
valuable life lessons. Don't mess with the chickens.
Yeah.
Or the sea chickens. It's important.
Kill the people,
There's
that's
one
fine.
with a patch.
But kill
yeah,
the
yeah,
chickens.
people fine. Okay.
You know, it's
All right.
not people, it's moblins, okay? And yes, it is genocide of another race. They seem to have culture. We don't need to talk about that. It's fine.
They're just
That's-
having a nice time by their campfires.
They are.
Oh,
Yeah,
look at
frequently
this,
it's like
campfire.
you're playing Breath of the Wild. You sail in, you like
My
murdered
flexibility.
7 people who were just like having dinner, just like having a campfire and weren't doing anything. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. That's for different story.
Let's table that for now. we're definitely coming back to that, though.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So we're just
Okay,
there.
where the
We're
fuck-
just
You're on
there.
the deck. You're about
We
a
just
mile
left
off of
the
shore.
Fisher King.
you're
Okay.
you're kind of anchored off of the Fisher King's Isle a bit because you couldn't
Okay.
get too close because of the shallow banks that made up the
Mhm.
island.
But we're back on our
Mhm.
boat now. We
You're
made it
back on your boat. The Fisher King
Great.
was on that weird-looking manta ray-like creature,
Oh,
and then
yeah,
just
yeah,
sank
yeah.
into the ocean.
He
Like
he
kind of
did
not
like,
breaking eye contact, just kind of
yeah, like Terminator style.
yeah,
Just full on
under
like
the water.
oh wait, I can do it now. I can do it. I have a standing desk. Just fucking
He's been waiting. He's been waiting to use this for so long.
Tripping me out.
Let's hope it goes high enough. Don't stop. Don't stop. Oh no! Oh no!
It's so
Wait, well, he's slowly adjusting.
They're not just for health, people. They're for slow
Excuse
jokes.
me, where are we supposed to be going?
oh she's in. Actually, no. Where the fuck are we supposed to be going?
Yeah, moving
Are we
shadows.
just leaving the ship now? Is there a trailhead? What do we got? Anyone know anything?
Is there anywhere to
Captain?
dock the boat?
So, best as I recall, we were told we need to make our way through this Ellabryn.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what direction we're heading in. Apparently, we're going to know it when we see it, though. The
Well, I
movie.
mean- All right. Do we know? I mean, God, that guy talked a lot, and he didn't really tell us
No,
anything.
he was very unhelpful. We tried
No.
very hard. He said he knew where Hojo was, and then he said he lied
Yeah, fucking-
about knowing where Hojo
Just a
was.
fucking liar.
Yeah.
Said to look for the moving shadows.
Yeah, that's all we got, which I guess only works during the daytime, maybe.
Like, yeah, like looks around. How DM? How many of the shadows are currently moving? Like as the boat goes like this and fucking clouds go over. Is it the majority? I bet it's the majority.
There are a lot of shadows that are moving around between
What if it's
Taika
something-
and Fitz running around.
Tyga's just fucking.
What if it's something like approach the mountains when it's shady and the sun is somewhere and you could see it shining in the light or something stupid?
Indiana Jones. You're talking about Indiana Jones.
Who is
Maybe.
this Indiana Jones you speak of? Is he
Oh,
from
he's a guy. Yeah, he's a guy I used to work with back at Capital City. Don't worry about him. He's a real prick. Okay. Well, I mean, we don't know how long we're gonna be out there, so I think take as much food and water as we can, right?
That
Yeah, I think
seems
that's-
wise.
Alright.
Yeah, and at the very least, apparently there's going to be all sorts of things that might want to eat us or kill us. So maybe
So
a
be
little
on
bit of
guard, right?
caution. Let's be on guard, and maybe we just do some scouting, some recon. I don't know how we
Yeah.
pass through this labyrinth since it seems to be a series of tall towers.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're gonna have to climb over things or walk between
Because-
them.
Because remind me, James, there's a bunch of like mountains that just have their fucking tops cut off.
They're not really mountains. They're like these giant.
Destructo disc, anyone?
Yeah, basically. They're these large, almost
That can't be.
they're like
Is it-
large spires, and they go up and they look like they've been cut off, but they're placed like haphazardly all around, tightly grouped. But there's definitely like almost valley-like canyons in between each of them, so you can walk on the bottoms easily enough.
Okay.
There's nothing like necessarily blocking you.
Okay. Okay. Well,
And-
yeah, let's oh no, go ahead.
Because we could probably see this from here. Do they look like craggy, or are they pretty uniform as far as like the vertical ascent? Are they things you could climb, or
Yeah, is it like
are
a
they
Devil's
kind of
Tower
straight?
situation? Or...
That's what I was
They're-
wondering. It's
they're-
just
they're-
picturing.
They're definitely not smooth. They definitely have cracks, and you could climb them. They're pretty rocky. They are approximately like 200 to 300 feet tall, so climbing them would not be a small feat. Although small feet might help you climb. I don't know.
Yes.
But
But
And
yeah.
there's nowhere else to go, nowhere else on the beach, another path.
Well,
is
there's
there,
a
like,
long stretch of miles and miles and miles where these spires just start along the beach in between these two massive mountain ranges. You can see
Okay.
maybe 25 miles up in the distance another giant mountain range. You have the southern mountain range covered in snow that led you into Wintertide, and then this is just kind of like this. It just kind of abruptly stops, and then there's this massive valley just littered with these tall spires that just seem to be planted here.
Okay. And remind me, what is the like foliage, the flora sort of look like around here?
There's not a lot. There's a lot of dry, what look like bushes and such, kind of like scratchy looking
Like
bush
chaparral?
clumps. There aren't any cacti or anything like that. Most everything is just this very barren looking orange yellow.
Okay. So, dry as shit. We should bring a bunch of water. Would be an
Very
inclination that might be
dry.
smart.
And you
Okay.
can feel
Yeah.
like this heat, like a flow of heat kind of blowing through.
Fuck. Okay.
we could leave some here to keep the boat safe while we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some people are gonna have to keep the boat safe for sure. Looks over suspiciously at who's our fucking resident psycho on the boat?
Slug?
Slug, thank you. What's
And
he
Slug
doing
is
right
just
now?
kind of picking his ear,
Oh god,
looks at it,
he's so gross.
smells it a little bit,
Ew.
and then
Ugh.
puts it back.
Wow. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, well, him and then some others, I think, right?
Yeah. It seems like at least a couple others, perhaps.
Should we see if there's any that want to come along? I mean, What's Fitz doing? I'm not gonna make eye contact, but I'm
Anyone
just
but
wanna...
Fitz is putting on a backpack and like packing up.
Oh,
He's,
okay.
No.
he's like clearly determined to go on to land.
Okay. All right. Well,
I want to look at Dresden and be like, you
Yeah.
should carry that frozen one like a backpack. She needs to go, no?
no. She has to stay here. Absolutely.
But
She'll get broken into bits out there.
wasn't the whole point to take her to Hojo, so maybe to fix her.
Well, I thought we were going to Hojo to save the world, and we might learn something about fixing her.
I
there.
start tying
Am I
Trust
wrong?
onto Pup's back because Dresden's being an idiot.
No, seriously though, do we need to take her?
You guys had
Yes!
talked a little bit about taking Trust to Hojo, and maybe
Yeah.
finding someone.
The whole
there
reason we
could-
went there first was because Trust wanted to go!
Let's be honest. If Trust is gone for good,
No,
it would be devastatingly sad. But if
and not
they
what's
were,
happening.
at least we will have fulfilled our goal of getting Trust to Hojo.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
That's
yeah,
where she
what that
wanted to
guy
go.
said.
I love Trust's inner monologue. It just,
I don't think
I feel like
Trust
this is
would
what
wanna
Trust would
go.
have wanted.
When they talk about, people that are dead and smiling down on you.
Uh-huh.
This is more of like someone who's just screaming down on you. They're in a,
Let's say
they're in
she's
a-
gonna
they're in a
hunt.
better place now, just
And-
screaming down at me.
As
Okay.
far as the brittleness of Trust, I'm just gonna go like tap on Trust.
Well, that was my
Hospital body
actual,
really
yeah,
quick.
that was my thing. I mean, like,
There's a whole force field around her.
Yeah,
is there?
Yeah.
I think Trust is like a battering ram.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's like a chrysalis, but here's the thing, like, okay, it's the Iron Man syndrome, right? Iron Man's armor, fine. He drops out of the sky at 200 miles an hour and slams into the ground. Armor is fine. You know what's not fine? The squishy human body inside of that armor.
Yeah.
I will protect her.
It does seem you had examined it, and it seems like Trust inside is stuck in some sort of stasis. That seems to be also stuck in time as well. And you had run a few tests and found that you could almost use Trust as a weapon if need be.
Do we like throw her off of stuff or like?
Well, there, just tired of my shield to the front of it.
All right.
Kidding.
Oh.
Kidding, no.
All right.
No, but I'll take. What does Trust weigh? What does Crystal Trust weigh?
Crystal Trust.
What does Trust weigh? Approximately.
I
Girl
don't
never
know.
tells.
How tall?
be
I mean, how
honest.
much does like a 3-foot person weigh? I don't know. I'm not 3 feet tall.
I mean, she's not a
Um,
person. I mean, she's a person, but she's a tiefling too.
You've
so-
got
Like,
to
we'll
I-
say
like
we'll say between
I would
30
about
to 40
20.
pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
somewhere around there.
Because I think I
Okay.
put 26 pounds for Cornelia, and she's not much.
Oh, so
I-
she
yeah,
must
we're-
be 27 pounds then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll carve
The
out
horns.
some space in the middle of my
The
backpack,
horns.
and she can just sort of ride in there.
Yeah.
I'll face her
Neat.
forward too, so it looks like she's flicking off the whole world as we move on.
Yeah,
That's
her arms
gonna
is
be-
right here. There's two hands.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
going to be the
Right on the
very
shoulder.
line, too, by the way. Crystal Trust. That's the name.
Crystal Trust. Okay.
there we are.
That's the name of
Crystal.
what?
When I
Crystal.
bottle the.
Oh, your wine, Crystal
Wine.
Trust.
Yeah. So I'll make as dumb as the decision is, I will absolutely get her up in my backpack and strapped in.
Thank you.
I'm actually more worried about, like, I don't know. Yeah, we'll get her fixed, but I'm just more worried about going into like a danger zone with her, like chrysalis or not. If we drop her or something and she's gone, it's like
Yeah.
I don't
Do
know.
we know
Part of me is
how-
like, do we want to leave her like where we know it's safe and then I don't
Find
know.
a path first and then
Yeah.
come back. Like how deep?
Yeah, because I wasn't sure if we were going all the way in or just looking for a trailhead right now. In all honesty.
Well, maybe it's both at the same time.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's bring her. Fine.
I can cast Sanctuary on her if like we get into a fight or something and try and like protect too.
What's the radius on that?
The radius?
Yeah,
the
like-
range? is 30 feet. But
No. But like, let's say that this sort of magical item now is being carried on someone's back. Are they like invulnerable? Do they get like +5 to handsome or something? Nothing.
No.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna try and jump in the
One
way of that
body.
spell. All right.
Good luck, I'm gonna win.
Should we? All right. Should we head out then?
Yeah.
Say so.
There is a bit of a question as to how we're getting on land since the dinghy.
Oh,
broken.
hell.
Um,
Are there any trees on the land?
Yeah, should we?
Any buildings?
well, we could try our exactly. So we're probably gonna have to try our little harpoon technique again.
Yeah,
Shoot something on the land.
It's
and
worth a shot,
we'll
right?
over. Yeah, it worked last time. It'll be fine. There's a lot
It worked
less
this time.
things.
Just don't
yeah.
aim it at the
Yeah, that's fine.
house, near the house at all.
We aim it here, and it like goes like comes back and hits that fucking guy's house again.
How did you
Yeah,
shoot our own boat? How did you shoot our own boat?
I don't know. Why are we sinking? Yeah, I'll try and just lob one into.
All right, roll a dexterity attack.
I just
realized I don't have
dice or my tower.
Okay.
Oh wait. Oh, but you know what I do fucking have? I got those dice that James sent in the mail.
Yeah.
Touch my tra-la-la.
They look
Oh,
like
very black.
witchcraft.
Okay.
That's that
Here we go.
witchcraft symbol on the top.
Finger.
Oh,
I don't know how well I
Wow.
can see those. Those are all
is
skeletons.
this textured or what's?
Yeah.
Let me see.
I needed dice for when Cullen
Enhance.
was DMing. So when he's killing the party, he has a set of dice now that's like kill the
Wow.
party dice.
Wow.
Yeah,
I like that.
felt
Kind of-
necessary.
fucking amazing. Anyway.
Horribly unbalanced though.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be great.
Oh.
What am I rolling?
Roll a disadvantaged attack because you're shooting kind of far. Dexterity, but add proficiency.
Survey says not great. Followed by it's a wide boy. It's a chunky fella. That's an 11.
An 11. You shoot it up, and it makes it most of the way there, and then poof, hits the shore just where the waves are starting to break in a little bit. So when you land, you might get a little bit of water on yourselves,
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
Is it stuck?
but it seems
Like-
to be secure into the sand.
I call that a win. Let's go.
Oh.
Can we give it a tug a couple times? I mean,
Yeah.
it looks secure, but
What do you
Yeah,
think? It's gonna
pull
get
it.
stiffer?
You pull it a little. You pull a little bit on that crank that draws it back in, and it feels pretty solidly stuck on there. And when you look, the beach itself doesn't look super sandy. It looks like a pretty rocky beach, so it must have hooked onto something, some large rock that's lodged within the soil or something like that.
A creature. Okay.
And we know the boat's not going anywhere. This is great. 2 for 1. 2 for 1 deal. You're welcome.
yeah, we dropped the anchor too. But yeah, just to be safe.
Yeah, it's a double. It's a 2. That's how you do it.
Mhm.
2 points.
It's gonna split the boat.
Okay, who's up?
Don't give him ideas.
I'll
Any takers?
go. I'll go second.
I'll go, and I like take my shield, and I'm just like.
Yeah. That's the
Okay.
initiative. I like to see.
Roll a acrobatics.
Can I jump on their shield and slide down?
Yeah.
Full Legolas.
Yeah.
Full fucking
Roll an
Legolas.
acrobatics.
Do it. Do it.
Oh, +4. Thankfully. Oh, good.
Acrobatics. That is a 17.
Ooh. Okay.
15.
And a 15. So, Maeve, you throw your shield on top of this long line, and then you feel Cornelia's small feet hop on top of your shield, just as you're, and you slide down And you start to get some pretty good speed as you're zipping down this line, and
I'm gonna stop and
The-
Cornelia's just gonna go flying.
the wind starts blowing in your hair as you feel that ocean, salty sea air flooding past you, and you get closer and closer and closer to the bank as Maeve comes to
How
a
do I
stop
stop?
about a foot into the surf. And Cornelia, roll me another acrobatics check to see how you
Can I
land.
try to just like fly off too with my cape that I have?
Sure. Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, you have
another
your little float.
acrobatics.
Acrobatics, yeah.
Floaty cape.
So 13, 19.
A 19. So you immediately just hold the cape up and you just lift off. High into the air. And then as you start to go higher and higher, you start to feel that hot air blowing back at you to the east. So you kind of go up onto the coast, and then the air just starts blowing you back farther and farther into the ocean until you fall about 15 feet behind Maeve. Maybe, and then into the water. But you get a good look at the Ellabryn from your vantage point, and as you're looking around, you start to see large, almost reptilian-like avian creatures flying far above you in these big packs of maybe a dozen. And you see them, and they have these long heads that are almost 3-4 feet long. And they some of them seem to be just perched on top of those giant spires looking down at you, and some of them kind of just floating far above. It's like maybe a hawk would do when it's looking for something.
Far above the desert or deeper into the spires where maybe...
As far as you can see, it's just they're kind of along the beachfront here,
Okay.
looking down, but it wouldn't be crazy to think that there's a bunch of them inside as
Yeah.
well.
Oh. All right, well, I'm going to doggy paddle / float to shore, hopefully.
Yeah, it's not hard. The current of the waves brings you in right behind Maeve.
Oh, that was impressive. You're flying.
Well, maybe at first. That's not what I meant to do. But thanks.
True, but I could not do that.
Oh, actually, you could try it if you wanted to, this cape.
Oh, it is the power is in the cape.
Yeah, kind of.
All right. Well, maybe later.
Yeah.
Turn around. I'm like, are you coming?
Hurry up, Ulysses.
After you.
All right, Wusses, who wants to go next?
Yeah, I'll hop up.
Okay, acrobatics.
Ulysses.
Ooh, not great. That's an 8.
An 8. Being much taller, by the time you get about 5/6 of the way there, you hit water, and your body just comes to a standstill, like pretty far out, and you just have to kind of paddle, trudge your way, yeah, all the way to shore. It's basically everything just kind of gets wet from chest down.
And I'm splashing him,
Great.
of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, and there's this weird
you.
splashback coming off from the shore.
Yeah, it's weird fish here. All these fucking
Cowwise?
spitting fish.
21.
21. And Cowwise, you see all this happening, and you're like, all right, I gotta really lift your legs up at the very end and then use that momentum to get up. And you plan it out, and a wave kind of recedes, and you come zipping in, you land, and you just run up the shore as the waves come in. And follow
That's how
right
you
behind
do
you is Fitz.
Good luck,
Ooh.
Fitz.
Fitz, you don't know if he planned it or not, but he follows suit, and then that wave comes in as you run up, and it comes out right behind you as Fitz hits the sand, rolls a little bit on that really rocky shore, and then jumps up and runs to avoid the water.
Wow.
Didn't even get wet.
Great.
Okay, we are off on another adventure. I am finally reunited with all of you. This is fantastic. You guys left me on that ship with Slug for an awful long time, and I decided that there was no way in hell or heaven you would leave me again. On that
Yeah,
ship
we tried that.
with Slug.
Yeah.
We needed someone to be there who had some common sense. to
Yes,
be
that's
able
why
to-
Eric Karate is on the ship.
Also, yes,
Yes.
correct.
Yes,
That's fair.
she can be the sense. I am no longer the sense.
And Slug's the common.
What,
All right.
what are you now?
I
If
am
you're
your
not the sense.
companion in arms.
Well,
Arm.
Ha 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 ha.
You
it
said
doesn't
it.
get old. It doesn't get old. I'm glad you're here, though. Let's go. Come on, lead the way.
Yeah,
I didn't know
you
we
know
were
as well
going.
as we do where we're going.
Oh,
Feel free.
No, we don't either.
Huh.
By the way, guys, there were large flying creatures, so watch out for that.
Like
Oh my god, we
birds.
can't stop here. It's
Yeah.
backcountry.
And you guys
They're-
look up, and there's quite a few of them now, just kind of circling. In the same way like a vulture would do. Just kind of circling around. And
Weird.
Kelwise, you've seen this pattern before with animals. And as far as you can tell, roll me a nature check.
Just want it to be noted that I took like some extra water. I brought up some extra.
We said we were bringing lots of
Okay.
water because it was deserty
I'm
and
just
hot.
I'm just making it real fucking clear when Jane
Very
starts
aware.
going.
I changed
Yeah,
it
you
with
probably out of
liquor
water now.
when he wasn't looking. I'm kidding.
Please don't tell me that.
It's a 13.
A 13. Yeah, you've never seen anything like this before. These aren't feathered creatures, which is strange to you. They have almost like a leathery texture to them, but related to birds in some way. Obviously, they're flying above you. Hard to tell, but you do get like a more of a scavenger style vibe from them. But you just
Flying leather
never-
daddies.
You never know. That's their name
Yeah.
now. That is their official name.
So those flying things don't have feathers, so that's a bad sign.
Yeah,
Yeah, keep that in mind.
yeah. Flying leather daddies. Copy that.
What? It's like a bat thing?
Just
Like
don't let. 'em
Yeah, in
sneak
the
up
same
on
way
you.
that like a bat has that kind of like textured skin instead of like a feather.
Great.
Well, we should keep moving, no?
We should.
Yeah. Let's go.
Are we on sand or is the ground sandy colored ish?
Is it the
Like
coast?
once
It's like
we're
a-
past the rocky coast?
Rocky?
It's like an
Yeah.
orange yellow. The whole place is like this
Orange
very like a yeah.
Too
We
much?
got sand colored tarps a long time ago. Do those
Yeah, we
tarps happen
did.
to look about the same color as the
They're
sand?
much different. They're much more
Okay.
lighter, yellower color. This place has got some really deep oranges, like similar to like Trust's skin. It's got that
So do
Just kind of
I
a-
get benefit?
almost
to-
an like a rusted iron.
God damn
Look
it, I
to it.
hate you. Didn't even want to carry me, and now you're using me.
I'm not talking to Trust right now. I'm talking to me.
Can I check for any markings or signs like arrows go this way, footprints, just like markings that
Looking for a
direct
sign
us in a
tell you where to go.
direction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a big
Roll an
Acme
investigation
sign.
check.
I will help with that as well, actually. I feel
Okay.
like.
Roll an investigation with advantage.
That ends up being a 14.
You're 14.
Me too.
Okay.
Same? Or
Same.
just her. Advantage.
Yeah. You guys are looking up and down the coast, and you don't see any footprints, human footprints, anywhere along this. You do see some animal footprints. They look
Not-
to be some kind of hoofed creature, quadrupedal. But other than that, you don't really see much of anything on this. You do see there are a few sea creatures that maybe come up onto shore at different times of the day. There's definitely life here, and there's signs of life. A few shells here and there, but other than that, you don't see anything definitely nothing humanoid or bipedal. And definitely no
Alright.
sign of like a road or a street or a path
no
that's been
wheels.
traveled.
So the
No
hoof
yellow
creatures
bricks?
aren't don't have shoes on them. Horseshoes.
Yeah. No, unfortunately.
Okay, well,
It sounds like we're gonna need to get somewhere where there's some shadows. So let's start heading inland, I guess.
yeah,
I'm gonna pull out the compass just so we have like bearings on what direction we're heading.
nice. James, does it look like it would make more sense to go up the coast a little and look for any sort of game trail or path or anything, or is it wide open enough that heading inland makes more sense?
It's pretty wide open. Yeah, there's
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
You can
let's
definitely
head
see
inland.
straight up the coast, and as you like start to look at the horizon, you see that there's almost like a very definitive line where these spires just won't cross. Way up and down the coast, these spires have been placed, and they look random, but it does look like there's a little bit of there's maybe like some weird rules or something has happened. And you see
Weird
that there's
rules in Aventide? No.
but these things, and maybe it's just that the sea has washed up and eroded anything that was past a certain point. But there
there's
does
like
seem to be a
There's like
just,
a line of demarcation,
yeah, where
like
they
a
just
tree line, like when you go up the mountains and the trees literally just can't grow any further, and it's just fucking a stark line that's so creepy.
yeah.
It always weirds me out. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's a spire line. Okay, well, let's just head in, right? Keep our eyes peeled. See if we see a game trail. Anything might make following easier, right?
Sounds good.
Okay, I guess
I'll
I'll
keep my eyes peeled
take
toward the
point.
skies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep your eyes on the flying leather daddies.
You guys start to head inside, and there's just a massive amount. It's still mostly early in the day, and you head into this very shaded, dark area, and it takes a little while for your eyes to just get used to this pretty dark setting. And as your eyes start to adjust, you notice that along the ground, in between each of these spires, it does seem like the ground is disturbed in a way that's like there's a lot of sand that's been ground over hundreds, maybe thousands of years, just sitting in between each of these spires, as if these areas have been traveled, maybe not recently, but they have been traveled for a very, very long time by something or many somethings. And you can see like there are scrapings along some of the walls that suggest that something has come in through here and really just gouged some of these walls, and it's only on a few here and there, and they don't seem to line up.
Oh, they don't line up. That was going to be my question. Like, does it kind of form a path? But no.
Do the
It's
mark
random.
When you say the walls, like how tall are you talking?
Maybe 10 feet up on some of the walls, some maybe as high as 15 feet. And as you guys walk in and you start to look, you notice that on every one of these spires, the eastern side seems to be much more eroded. The eastern side of each spire seems less eroded, as you do notice like there's a strong wind coming from the west, blowing debris that seems to have ground down the western sides of every one of these spires. So they're not perfectly syringeable.
We're walking west now.
You're walking west. Yeah, you're walking into the
walking
wind.
into that wind. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think we want to walk the other way if they would want
If we
protection?
walk the other way, we're just going back to the boat.
Oh, I thought that was south.
Are you saying you want to go home? You can
Is
give
that
up.
an option?
No, it's not.
Can I check the markings on the trees or around, or the spires or around, to see if they were done by animals? Like if there's any droppings or fur or...
Sure. Yeah. Roll another investigation check.
13.
13. As you're checking up there, you do find a little bit of fur. Some kind of animal in this, not necessarily in the marking, but you do find a little bit of fur blowing in the wind, just a little tough. And when you get closer to some of these markings, you kind of look at them and you find these scrapes were made by something large, and the deepness of the scratch seems to be something strong, like a claw of some sort.
All right, I tell everybody that.
Oh, great. Super.
Perhaps the birds up ahead did that.
Flying leather daddies.
I don't have any fur, I don't think, right?
But maybe
No,
they
no, no.
attacked something with
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah.
Can I roll a survival check to try and discern a path, a trodden path, or like track something, like track a path?
Sure. What are you trying to track?
Like just because you, like a path, like a worn path that people have traveled to be like you said. There's the like non-linear markings of something passing through, but like maybe like trying to connect the dots or something of those.
Roll a, yeah, sure.
That's survival, right?
Yeah.
It's a 13.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, especially with all the wind blowing the sand all around here. It's like you can tell that not people, but things, creatures, something living has come through here. But there's no markings specifically that state like a thing has recently been there at all.
I mean, it seems like maybe from the markings and the piles of sand and rubble, maybe it's like herds of creatures that move through here. So we might want to keep an eye out, because it seems like maybe a lot of them come through if they do.
Yeah, hopefully
So
they're...
watch out for like a stampede kind of thing.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm imagining.
All right. So keep eyes open for, escape routes and stuff out of if we end up in a box canyon or something stupid like that.
What do we do? Just climb up or run or what?
I mean, if it's a main thoroughfare, try and look for an offshoot,
Yeah. Anything but running straight to or from. Just pick a different direction, like right or left.
Like when a tree's falling.
Yeah. Any other direction. Building falling, any other direction.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah. What's that on?
You hear that, Fitz?
I'm
No.
totally fine taking care of myself, Preston.
Okay. Just making sure you heard.
But if I do get in trouble, do help me.
I mean, why wouldn't I? I've always helped you.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. Of course.
Okay. I endured cheese with you. Like, artisanal cheese.
You mean you experienced true culture?
Yeah.
He's
Sorry.
lactose
Yeah, that's what I meant
intolerant.
to say.
All right.
I'm glad you're here. Let's go.
And you guys continue on to the west. Through that wind coming through, and very quickly you turn back and you can't see the shoreline anymore. You can barely hear the sounds of waves coming in and out as you very quickly get just engulfed in these spires. Yes.
How strong is that wind?
It's
pretty
maybe
steady?
10 to 15 miles an hour. So it's a steady wind, but you do notice it has picked up a little bit, and you did remember seeing that there were those really dark clouds on the horizon to the west.
Beautiful. All right. I got an idea.
Okay.
Take out my rope. Oh, you're gonna like this. Come over here.
No. I'm running away from Tristan.
Come back here. I'm gonna turn you into a kite, and you're gonna tell us what you see. Come on. Come on.
Pretty good idea.
All right.
I tie a rope around her, and I guess we just find the wind.
Well, you
Spread
have
your
to
wings.
run or something. I can't just get up there on my own.
Someone give her a boost.
Never flown a kite before.
Have you ever flown a Cornelia before?
I've never flown a Cornelia before.
You're muted, Maeve.
I was just saying I'm not particularly strong, but
Oh,
Well, maybe we could take, just because I was thinking about the tarp, we could take the tarp and you could hold one end and I can hold the other end and we can do like a 1, 2, 3
Oh,
thing
there we
and
go.
launch
Yeah.
Cornelia into the air.
I'm just gonna use my mage hand and launch as they're discussing this.
Okay,
Launch
roll
yourself.
Roll an acrobatics as you just launch yourself.
Natural 20.
Ding. So as you guys are discussing this,
Plus-
Cornelia just kind of like, that's what I thought, and then just kind of floats off into the air.
that is
So if
impressive.
you hold the one end of this and I hold the other. Oh, never mind.
And how high are
She's
you
very
floating?
impressive.
That is very impressive.
I'm gonna float as high as they'll let me, I assume. How high? The spires are like 200 feet, right? So I can't go.
They're about
I can maybe go-
about 250 feet.
I don't know, like 60. 60.
whatever you
or-
feel comfortable. I'm just gonna keep
feet.
letting it out until you go like.
One 120.
120 feet.
Okay. Oh my god.
Remember the fall damage.
Yeah. How high are the naked leather daddies or the bald leather daddies?
They seem to be
hairless-
pretty content staying on top of those peaks. They were about 250 feet up. But, you know, they
And
were
then my
flying.
rope holder just leaves.
Yeah. All right. So Cornelia, you're up, and you're looking around, and it doesn't seem. It's not like you get a great view from way up there, just because you're seeing maybe different stuff. The stone over here is much smoother. It's less ground. It's less disturbed. But you do see off to the just to the south a little bit around one of the corners, you see these big vines, these really thick what look like roots that have been embedded to the side of one of these spires. And they're maybe hundreds of feet long. And it just seems all to connect, spidering out of what looks like this big black blob. And you can't really make out what it is that they're all spiraling out of, but it seems to be just latched onto one of these spires just to the south of you.
There's a blob with
What can
Vines.
you see?
I'm gonna send him a message because I believe it's 120 feet away. I can send it and just tell him a black blob with vines. It
Is
looks
that the
dangerous?
plant we're supposed to avoid? What was it the fishman said about them? I look
Yeah,
at
we
Coweyes.
He did bring up,
I've heard what I hear.
he said 5 foot wide, large blossoms. And they shoot pheromones. They're called pleasure blossoms, and we need to use the algae to counteract them. Or else
So
they
we-
might kill us.
Do we have to go
Powdered algae.
near them, or
we
we
have that?
avoid them?
should I avoid this?
I'm
Cornelia,
not
roll me a perception
Cullen.
check.
Yeah.
16.
Okay. Yeah, you can't really see any more than that from where you're at.
All right, I don't notice any fire, smoke, any other creature, nothing like that.
No fire.
Want to
nothing
go
like that.
higher?
Yes.
Cornelia, you start to rise up, and you hear far above you. You start to hear like a chittering sound. Something almost bird-like coming from above you, echoing ever so slightly back and forth through these giant spires and these little canyons they make.
Do I see any moving shadows?
And you look above you, and every once in a while you just see a little dark blob or something dark fly over and then disappear behind a spire.
All right, I'm gonna head back down. I don't see anything else from that height. Any
No, it's and again, it's like your view isn't that much
Yeah.
better from up there than it is on the ground. It's just maybe a different perspective vertically, but horizontally you can't see really that much farther.
even if I look down at the ground, any clear paths from there that I missed maybe from down
No,
below?
not really any more paths. I mean,
Walking paths
it's
or
pretty
nothing?
wide
Okay.
open. These spires aren't so close that
Hmm.
you have to like slip through them. There's maybe
Mhm.
a good 25 to 30 feet in between the descent or that kind of slope that leads up to the spire. So there's a bunch of room here. It's not like you guys are tightly packed.
Locked in, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make my way down.
Okay. As you
Yeah.
head down, that sound.
She's starting to come down. I'll take in the slack or whatever.
Yeah. And Cornelia, you're able to just kind of float down, especially with the rope attached to you. It's easy just to glide back down.
Cool. All right, I'll just report what I found. Nothing.
So we got roots off to the south a bit, like clinging to one of those spires.
Yeah, and some stuff
Okay.
moving around up, like probably those bird things, those flying creatures, and
The leather
more.
daddies.
Were
Yeah.
they all going in the same direction? Is the moving shadows the big leather daddies?
Were they just all around, not going in any specific pattern, or?
You didn't see any pattern. You could just see them for a second kind of flying overhead. They were just flying from one spire to another here and there, pretty
like,
intermittently.
going-
Yeah.
Nope.
All right, so
Was
we've
that-
got a. No,
Was
go
that
ahead.
dark patch in the vines? Was it near the ground or was it up pretty high on a spire?
It was
It
maybe
was like 100
yeah,
something feet.
it was maybe 10 feet from the ground itself.
Oh,
Oh.
10 feet.
The actual blob itself was kind of wedged, touching mostly the ground up one of the slopes of one of the spires.
And then the shadow
Mm-hmm.
thing that flew over me did I recognize, was it the vine thing or the flying creature?
No,
Did I see what it
looked
was?
like those. It looked like those giant
Okay.
leather daddies.
Leather daddies.
The big
Yeah.
daddies, yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, you don't need to use quotes. That's their name now.
All right.
All right.
Well,
So,
We should
the only thing
explicitly
we picked
avoid
out.
the blob.
Well, that's our question. You know, do we avoid that? It's the only thing that we've really seen, or do we go a little closer, edge toward it
Yeah.
on the way?
That doesn't
You know what
sound
I
like
mean?
the shadows that they were referring to for the end. It sounds more like the thing that was gonna murder us,
Okay.
and that we needed the algae to avoid. To me,
And we have the algae.
we have some algae. Yeah, we have some of the.
Who
powdered
has said algae?
How did it come? It was powdered. Was it in small
No, no, no.
Who
vials?
has it on their
Oh,
possession?
yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
Who
holding
has
it?
it? I just want to know who.
Hellwise,
has
I
it.
assume. It
I
sounds
guess I
like
have it.
Hellwise has it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hellwise,
Okay.
you were
So-
the one who had it.
For clarification, did it come in a vial or like what is it in?
No, he was in a little container that he had. And he just grabbed a handful and put
Like
it in your hand.
Tupperware?
So
Oh,
he just put a big thing of powdered, awful smelling algae. in your
I put
hand.
it in my herbalism kit then. Yeah, I've got it. I just stored it in there. I have storage vials.
That
and
makes
things.
sense.
Do we take it now, or what if we're affected? Anything
I don't
to
know.
avoid?
Okay, so here's the thing. What is this? It's like an ecstasy plague or something like that.
Yeah, you call them pleasure blossoms.
Okay. Why don't we all kind of just put a good 20 feet of rope between us. Maybe tie off at the waist, kind of. You know,
Okay.
it's easy
So
enough
no
to...
one wanders
cut.
off? I think that's wise.
Yeah.
That is smart, yeah. Yeah,
Alright.
with the darkening clouds and who knows if there's sandstorms or things. Yeah, I think that's
Alright.
smart.
Cornelia,
Okay.
stop untying that. And I go and I
what's
feed
the
out rope and tie
what's
everybody.
the order you guys are tying yourselves to?
Well, that's a good question. I'll take point, I guess.
I'll go behind him to protect Trust on his back.
I'll take the rear.
I'm going to intentionally break trust.
Take the rear. So
Okay.
then we'll say Fitz is in the middle,
Yeah.
and then we'll put Cornelia, and then
You're a different character.
Fitz, Cornelia, and then Kelwise. Okay.
Is Pup and Rezik with us, or we're just assuming?
Yeah, Pup and Rezik tied to each other, tied to Fitz.
Yeah.
They make like a little cross section. Fitz is tied twice.
Cool.
There. Yeah. Schrodinger's pup. Are they there? Are they not? Who knows?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Well, let's keep heading in deeper. Let's try and keep track of where that spire is as a reference point. Sound good?
Yeah.
Everyone
Noted.
just individually try and keep an idea of where that one mark that we're looking not to avoid is. Let's keep heading west. Let's go.
Okay. You guys start winding in and out, and this area just seems to go on forever. Every time you turn another spire and you cross one, there's 100 more to take its place as you wander in and out of this. And you wander for hours and hours, and it doesn't seem... It's hard to tell if you're making any progress at all, as everything just kind of looks the same here. Everyone roll a perception check as you're walking.
I mean, I thought it would be boring, but
Oh,
19.
it's
16.
pretty boring.
16?
19.
19?
24.
24.
Where the fuck is perception on here? Oh, there it is. That's a 4.
A 4. Okay. So your point man just trudges through. Just moving along. And Kelwise, you hear something. And it's hard to make out, and you think it's maybe just the wind blowing stone. You can't really make out what it is, but you hear it over and over and over again. And it doesn't sound natural, or at least it doesn't sound like just the elements playing their games. It sounds like something every once in a while is moving, and it's always on the other side of one of these spires. You can hear it. From wherever you guys are, you can hear it either to the left, to the right, on the opposite side of these spires. And as you're moving, you catch a glimpse of one of those vines just behind you. And you look off to the side, you catch a glimpse of it, and then you look over and you see one of those vines sitting there. And most of the vines themselves are this very dried out, yellowish white bleached color as it wraps around. But you see the vine move ever so slightly. The little root, you see it just move, and then a piece of it kind of breaks and disappears.
Like into anything, or just in?
It just seems
To
to
the air.
disappear. And it's almost like you see like wavy lines, as if the heat from this place is tricking your eye. And then you look really
Perhaps-
deep, and something, it's hard to see it, but something maybe medium-sized turns its head and then just disappears. This is pretty far off, maybe a couple 100 feet.
Was that a shadow, or should we take the algae?
Maybe. I don't know.
Does- You said it's moving one thing like away from us. Does it feel like it's like it's moving with us? It's like it's tracking us?
It seems like there's something, and it doesn't look like these giant vines are moving very fast. It seems like there's something else that's always on the opposite side of a spire from you, and it's a very, very subtle sound. And it seems like there's also something weird happening with those roots on one of those giant plant-like.
Explain the
formations.
subtle sound to me. Is it like rocks hitting against other rocks?
like-
Is it crunching?
It's like a small pebble being dropped down a rocky slope.
But just a single one? Not like
Um,
a handful of them, or like...
That's what you thought was maybe a single rock falling, but you heard it too many times now for it to be just rocks falling. And you've heard it multiple times, like sometimes you'd hear it to your left and your right when you pass by two spires that are particularly close.
Okay. So I would turning to the group, and by turning to them I mean stopping them because I'm in the back of the group. Hey, everyone. I think we're being followed.
That's not
Where?
good.
Where? I would love to say it's one direction, but it's kind of like all the directions at the
So you
same.
think we're surrounded?
Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like I saw that vine thing back over there, and it's doing weird stuff. But there's also been this like steady trickle, dropping sound, like stones falling, and it's been following us for a while.
So should we take the algae in case we get ambushed and don't have time to take it?
I'm not sure.
Do we know how long it lasts?
I'm not sure the algae is what we need right now. I don't think pleasure blossoms stalk people.
Or do
You
they?
don't think it's the vines? Did we not see the vines moving?
How much space do we have between like us and the surrounding spires?
You guys are in between two spires right now. You just walked in between two, and there's about 30 feet between them. And Coweyes in the back kind of wasn't in between them yet. Was kind of looking around maybe to the south, and he saw like maybe two spires over, just that little bit of a root sticking out on that. And it seems like you've maybe seen two or three of these now rooted creatures with the big black looking masses in the middle, and they all seem to be facing east. And this one's no different, and you see that root sticking out, and you saw the root maybe move, and it was hard to tell because it was far away. And there are a few places here where the heat kind of makes a little mirage, but you could swear that one of these roots moved or disappeared.
And what's ahead of us if we were to like say charge forward? Where does that put us?
If you just charge forward, there's just a whole set of new spires in front of you.
And what's the distance between like all these spires, like roughly?
They're
Do you know what I mean?
anywhere
Like
from
how-
the closest spires are about 25 feet together, and the farthest ones are about 50 feet apart.
So we're in like just like a ridiculous kind of like
Like a
shattered
fort.
canyon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And it
That's
seems
awful.
to just extend in every direction.
Yeah, not a fan of that.
Sorry about the
Okay.
Does the ground look any different, or is it like, can we see roots or anything in the ground?
Every once in a while, you'll find maybe the remains of a piece of root, like a vine-like root, here and there. But for the most part, it's just gotten a little bit dustier since you've left the coast. Other than that, everything looks eerily the same.
All right, guys, are we running?
Yeah, I mean, we could run forward. We could also run backward and see if maybe we could catch whatever it is by surprise. But if that is the case, then What if we all get?
What if they're just more in front, and so we run as far as we can get and fight?
Or what if it's
One
just my
further.
imagination and I'm just going crazy?
Could these be the moving
What?
shadows?
We're
Yes,
supposed
what if we're
follow them?
supposed to follow them? It's
So
like
we
the only
follow
sort
them.
of lead we have.
follow where they are already. They
Where they
Follow
face,
where they're
the way
going,
they
or-
they
yeah.
face.
Well, they're all facing east,
That's what I'm thinking.
and we've been
east-
heading
So-
west.
Should we try east?
Well, east is where we came from.
Thought
Oh.
south was where we came from.
East. You're
Damn.
heading west right now.
And that might be because they get more moisture on the backside of these spires because it feels like there's a warm wind blowing.
think
this
the
way,
other-
but I'm not a meteorologist, so I don't know.
I think the west side gets pummeled by sand and grit and stuff.
That's what it seems like.
Right. What did the Fisher King say about the moving shadows? Follow them, avoid them.
Follow
kill
them.
Follow them.
Look for the moving shadows, and you don't see it until you were there.
If you don't see it until you are there. Oh.
Does that mean we're there?
I don't think so.
I mean, these aren't really moving shadows, right? I think we just keep moving forward. Close up. Everyone get close. And
Cornelia, didn't you see a moving shadow a little bit ago when you were flying?
I did,
Let's-
yeah. Technically, it flew over me.
But you said where it did not go a particular direction. They were just all over, and it looked like maybe it was these birds.
Mm-hmm. That's what I
So it's
got.
probably going to be an obvious moving shadow then.
I think so.
Perhaps.
I think we keep going. What time is it?
It's maybe a little past noon, and the sun now is starting to hang over you, really lighting up this place, and you guys start to smell something as the sun starts to light up the whole of the Ellabryn. You definitely start to notice flickering every once in a while, as now when you look up, you notice that there's just something above you every once in a while flying overhead that just causes these little flickers of shadows all over the place.
In the same direction, or
Direction?
Oh.
It's hard to tell. It just seems like you look up, and the
Everyone's
longer you look up,
answer.
every once in a while, something will fly over from one spire to another, and then cross back
Oh,
over,
God.
and then cross in different directions. Catwise,
I
you've
hate
seen
this
this
place.
behavior before. You've seen this specifically in birds, especially birds that are scavengers, almost opportunists. There's a whole subset of animals that just wait for injured creatures or things, easy prey,
Yeah.
and they just follow
Do I
things
know if
around.
we're the prey? Does it feel like we're the prey?
It definitely
What's it-
seems like not necessarily you, but anything down here that could be easy pickings.
Okay. Yeah, because normally, they'd fly, they'd circle around you, you'd be able to see them. I mean,
Yes,
spires, but
but yeah. And
okay. So it
you guys
feels
start
like
to smell something in the air. Something almost sweet.
The pleasure blossoms.
The pleasure blossoms.
is Pup eating honey directly out of the jar?
And Pup is eating honey, but it's something different
Hmm.
than that. And it's faint on the air.
Let's run.
Run
Or
where?
do we just take the algae?
Do we eat the algae? How does that? Did that get explained to us?
Sniff it, or do we?
No clue.
He had used it as more of like like rock salts, in that sense. He had used it because when you had taken even just a small whiff, it had like punched you in the brain.
Oh,
Was-
okay. Okay.
So it was more of like a use if necessary kind
All
of
right,
thing.
yeah, well, Cowboys, get those ready, and let's keep moving forward. I don't
Yeah.
like standing still here. If
I'll
we are
keep it-
getting surrounded, we're just giving them more chance to get the jump on us. Let's go.
Sure.
And
Let's keep
you guys continue heading west as Cowboys.
In the right
You're starting to
direction.
see more of those mirages around you, and you still hear like the trickling of rocks behind each spire, moving always on the other side from where you're at. As you guys move forward, and Dresden, you turn a corner, and it was maybe hidden just by the starting shadows, but you see that direct sunlight is hitting one of those giant black blobs about maybe about 40
Blobs
feet
about.
or around. You just turn a corner, and one of those blossoms just kind of these giant petals just open up into what looks like almost a rose, but it's maybe 5-6 feet wide, and you see these
If
little
I see that, can I
pink
react and like hold my
pieces-
breath?
these little pink pieces of pollen just kind of all on the wind. And Dresden, you start to hold your breath. Everyone, roll a wisdom saving throw. Dresden, roll it with advantage.
Oh no.
Oh, what is it that we're rolling? Sorry.
A wisdom
Wisdom
saving
saving
throw.
throws.
12.
Ooh.
15.
Oh, 12.
13.
A 13. So you guys are walking, and you
TPK.
smell this. You smell something on the wind, and Dresden, you manage to hold your breath. Kelwise, you quickly hold your breath. Fitz does the same in the middle, but Cornelia, you and Maeve, you smell something
Going to Pleasure Town.
in the air, and it's it's
Not a sex
sweet,
school.
and it's
Going on out of Pleasure
alluring. And Cornelia, you look around and you blink a couple times because it's, you know, it's not real, but there's something nice about it because you look around and you're in this lush green forest. And you're blinking, and it's almost confusing because you don't remember being there, and you look around and you see Mom and Dad bickering about the next gem harvest and who's gonna drive the cart on their way to Capital City. And you see a friend, and there's a friend there, and you can't remember her name. And it's weird, and you're looking around, and you see your, it must be one of the festivals, your favorite time of year, just because everyone comes together and you can just play pranks on everyone. And you're known for your pranks, and it feels good to be here. And you feel like this weight is lifted off your shoulders as you're just home. And it's secure. And there's nothing flying overhead. There's no trickling sounds on the other sides of spires. There's no warm, hot heat beating down on you. Just a little bit of firelight right before a festival, and all those feelings of the festival and the fun and the excitement and the energy of being around all of your people. Maeve,
Yeah.
You guys,
You
we
kneel.
made it.
you kneel before a council of your superiors as they look down on you smiling. You've done it. Their proud glares filling the room, and you can feel all the attention's on you because you've done it. You've succeeded, and you're beaming with joy in the light and you can feel the Everroot tapping you on the shoulder. You were born for greatness. This was your destiny, and you have risen to the occasion, and you can feel that. The two of you, Kelwise and Dresden, you look around, holding your noses as this giant pink pollen blows past you, and you look deep into this flower, and you notice there's right in the middle, there's this long, almost tube shape with these fibrous looking, you can't call them teeth, but they're these little mini, almost like flagella, and in them there's just this weird sort of greenish mucus. And you look to Cornelia and Maeve, and both of them beaming with delight as Cornelia starts untying the rope from herself, and Maeve starts untying the rope slowly, not dangerously, and then they start just like, you can tell their intent is to just walk towards this thing.
All right. I'm inhaling and tossing the bag over to Dresden to try to stop them from doing this. Yeah.
Okay. You both you guys roll me a Constitution saving throws. You guys take a whiff of this.
Boy. 4.
A 4.
19.
19. Yeah, it's the equivalent of eating 8 ounces of wasabi all at once.
Oh god.
Kelwise, your eyes just start to run.
Too
your
hard.
nose starts to bleed, and your body just starts. You're racked with some kind of almost paralysis as your body just starts to convulse. But Dresden, you take a hit of this, and it's not pleasant, but you hold your wits in as you're able to react even through eyes that are maybe a little bit glossy.
If I can react, I just want to run a circle around them. Just
Okay.
trail my rope around them. Just wrap those fuckers
Yeah.
up.
And you
Breathe in our
tie them-
faces too.
You tie them up. You easily tie them up. It doesn't seem like they're fighting anything.
Yeah,
They're not
and
being maybe,
have I got the bag?
Yeah, you've got the bag, and you tie them all
I'm
up.
gonna be like, sorry, friends. And just like right under their snouts, just like a big old puff of whatever it is.
Yeah, and Cornelia, instantly, you're ripped out of this really pleasant, beautiful place back to reality.
Wake the fuck up.
And not only that, your nose starts to burn. It's as if all the hairs in your nose are being ripped out at once. And Maeve, same
It's like
thing.
sniffing whiskey improperly.
Exactly.
Isopropyl
Exactly.
right up the nostril.
Yeah. It's like someone has poured whiskey down your nose. And poof, you're back. And this blossom. And you guys
Hey,
noticed that
with me.
the black leaves of this giant plant almost glitter in the sunlight. And the blackness is so deep you can't even really make the fibers other than the little sparkles on the leaves as it just glitters in the wind and flows a little bit, completely open. Just this inviting feeling. And you guys are kind of knocked back and you see something. This small quadrupedal looking animal with 2 really, really short horns. Maybe on the smaller side, maybe the size of like a large dog.
I'll make
Its
sure
fur-
Trust is still in my backpack.
Yeah. Its fur kind of changes colors. And all of a sudden you start to see its fur wavering, just changing colors, all different types. And at some points, it changes to this orange that makes it nigh impossible to see. And
Great.
it kind of trots up, looking at the blossom, just kind of trots up into the blossom as the petals very slowly just close upon this thing. and
It
nothing
went
else
inside
happens.
it?
It just kind of trotted up to it, and then the blossom closed around it.
Can we discuss
well-
this on the other side of this pillar? I'm
Wow, guys.
We're going. Everyone
to-
move.
We need to
Keep
package.
coming.
We need to package that though. That was nice.
Okay, Cornelia Co. can have products later. Let's go. Let's go.
And you
I
guys
was
head around the other side as the sun kind of moves on, and you notice down much farther. You notice that one of those other blossoms just seems to close up as the sun moves past it and puts it in shadow again, and you start to hear movement from all around you, very, very high, as you hear maybe hoof-like creatures high up above you. Creatures start to move. It's hard to see, but those mirages you were seeing, these quadrupedal, almost goat-like creatures, they probably look closer to like a lamb with two little horns. Their coats just perfectly matching the colors all around them, turning darker or lighter depending on if they're in the sunlight. They kind of have just been standing up on top of these pillars, very, very, very high, just kind of up against the walls, not moving this whole time. And now that the sun has kind of moved on, they're coming down, and a lot of them group up and then run off down south or down north away from you guys. And it was almost like you guys didn't know they were there, and you look behind you and there was a bunch pretty close to you up on these spires.
Well, I don't like that.
None of them look like shadows, though, right?
None of them look like shadows. It just looks like they were kind of standing around waiting for whatever this was to end, and then they just go on with their day.
Really don't like that.
Do you think they're friendly? Do you think they're...
I don't think anything here is friendly. Let's assume nothing here is friendly. That's just like a base rule 1. Let's start with a set of rules. Rule 1, nothing here is friendly.
But if
Especially not me.
if they were friendly, do you think we could try to get up next one?
I
They
squished the
seem
stuff
to
under
be
his
in.
nose.
It burns. It burns so bad.
They seem to be in just as much danger from that flower as we were. It seems it's caught one.
did seem-
So
Yeah, and what is it that the sun sort of activates them almost? Did you see that? It kind of
the blossom,
went into shadow
it,
and then went to sleep a little.
it's like it's blooms in the sun and
Wow.
closes in the shadow.
It seems like noon might be the most dangerous time here. What do you think?
But what can we do about that? We are too far in.
Well,
no.
No, I'd just find a spot that might be safe next time it's noon and hunker down.
Do we
Noon is
have
the most
anything we
dangerous
can
time to
fashion
go
like
far.
little nose plugs with?
I'm
we,
not
like-
sure it's...
We've got pieces of cloth and things. We could try to fashion nose guards.
Yeah,
but
I mean, if anything, we could
Work.
wet some cloth and put them over our face. I'm not sure that whether it goes in your nose or mouth matters. I think it's just that it gets inside you.
Maybe we can like cast a shadow on one of them when noon time comes and just hang out next to that one so it doesn't know it's noon or something.
Can we do that?
I
Isaac
cannot
probably
cast
can.
the shadow.
Well, we could just examine
but
one.
we've only got Schrodinger's Rezik.
Well, Schrodinger's
Try
Dresden was
with
a
the
little
tarp.
helpful, so
Mhm.
perhaps Schrodinger's Rezik can be helpful too.
Cornelia's right though. We do have the tarp. We could fashion some sort of shade out of it and sort of see if it
good
reacts. But we're gonna. I don't know. Are we here to do science experiments, or are we trying to?
No,
find
we're
a-
here to survive.
And
That's
we have
all I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Is we don't know how many days we're going to be out here.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Keep close. Let's keep talking, but let's keep walking while we're moving. Keep an eye on those things. If you see someone start to get all starry-eyed, Kick him in the nuts and put that terrible algae up their nose. All right.
Can we all have some? Can we all get like a little pinch of
Yeah,
the?
let's give everybody a pinch.
Yeah,
Do we have like a little pouch or
But maybe
envelope, whatever?
Yeah.
let people enjoy it a little longer before.
You know you were about to crawl into that thing's mouth, right?
You would have stopped me. It's fine.
Okay, let's not ride the edge of the fucking. All right, this place is.
You didn't
You
experience
get
it.
5 more seconds. 5 more seconds next time, okay?
All right.
All right, that's for you. But I go back and I tie like a really fucking complicated knot on her robe.
And I watch.
She remembers she has a knife.
Shh.
Oh yeah, thanks, Caroline.
Shh.
Will you tie one of those on mine as well? I will not look. I
Yeah,
do not want to be eaten by that flower.
Yeah, that's
yeah. I just tie like just a stupid Godzilla knot. Just like it's mainly just like a bird's nest, but it'd take a while to undo.
And I have
All right.
several pouches, so I just sectioned little bits of this into several different pouches and passed them out. So we all have our own little supply.
Okay, yeah, and Kawai,
Thank
in
you.
your kit, your herbalism kit, you have little.
I'm gonna need your pouches back.
Yeah.
When you're done, by the way.
Yeah, you guys continue walking, and all the blossoms you find are, for the most part, completely closed up. Some of them a little bit more open. Some of them, you find one that looks drooped, maybe dead. And you notice that now that you see these creatures that seem to be shifting colors, you notice that they're feeding on these roots and branches. And Kelwise, what you had seen earlier was one of these creatures just kind of gnawing on the dead roots of these things. And they're just
Just get the creature.
eating up the blossoms themselves. And nothing really changes. Kelwise, in all of you, you continue as you head west, deeper and deeper into this endless set of spires called the Ellabryn. You just hear those rocks trickling down the canyon wall still.
Okay, wait.
That's
Everyone stop. Do you hear that?
Do we?
And after he points it out, you do kind of it kind of clicks that you've been hearing a trickle of rocks falling intermittently, not on every single spire, but every once in a while on the opposite sides of spires all around you.
That sound has been following us all day long. Now, I have an idea. What if we split into 2 groups and each of us goes around one of these spires? One around one direction, one around the other direction. We'll meet on the other side. We'll see if we can't figure out what's been making the sound all day.
Okay. I like it.
Just a quick experiment.
If it's been
What's the
following us all
diameter of
day,
the
it's gonna keep doing it.
What's
Yeah.
that?
What's the spire diameter?
The diameter of these spires
The
is maybe
diameter.
diameter is maybe 50 feet at the base, and it maybe goes to about 40, 30 feet as it goes up. Yeah.
Piece of cake. Yeah. It's been following
Alright.
us all day.
Who's with me?
Me.
Okay.
Oh,
I tucked I doubled the knot on my purse, on my coin purse. All right, let's go.
I'll take Fitz and Pup and Rezik.
okay.
I don't like my odds.
You guys split into 2 groups now. How are you approaching this? Are you guys running out quickly, or are you sneaking around?
I'm going quietly.
Yeah, I think we're sneaking, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone roll a stealth check.
16.
14.
21.
11.
11.
The armor.
So you guys start to slowly walk in 2 different groups around, and you peek around to see. It's kind of strange, and you haven't seen any of these, but you see a bunch of small, like a small outcropping of rocks, just kind of placed together, maybe a half dozen of these rocks that look like they're from the area, but you haven't seen anything like that here.
They look out of place.
They don't necessarily look out of place, with the exception that you haven't seen anything like that your entire time here.
Are they moving or
They seem to be just still.
does it look like
Do
they
we see each other?
underneath or on
You
top?
can see, yeah, and you guys kind of come around, and you can kind of feel each other on the other side of the spire.
I'm gonna start moving as quietly as possible forward.
Okay. You move forward.
And we move forward too. Inching toward it.
Got my shield out.
Okay.
My dagger.
I don't like it.
And
Sword.
you get right up to them, and they just seem to be these mid-sized rocks, maybe the size of a human torso, just kind of sitting on the ground.
I'm gonna throw a little pebble. Not
I'm
at
just
them, but near. Really
I'm just gonna-
close by.
Hold my sword up high.
Okay,
I'm
you
hoping
throw a rock
dodge.
nearby, and doesn't seem to change anything. Doesn't seem to move, doesn't seem to react in any way.
I take out the powder
Okay.
and I just sprinkle a little bit on it.
So you sprinkle a little bit of powder on this thing, and you start to see it shake. Starts vibrating. And this whole rock just starts to shake a little bit. And you hear this low grumbling sound.
Back up. I back up. I back up.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to go on break.
Oh, fuck.
Where are we? Thank you. Where?
I'm pretty sure we
were-
found it.
We were
fancy
we
chest,
the
and
we
were about
put
to
the
open it.
we put the
The powder on the rock.
algae
Yes.
on the rock and it went whoa whoa
Yes.
whoa whoa whoa.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Making dubstep sounds, yeah.
Oh no,
Which
Shweti
we know is a
calls.
good thing. I saw.
This rock begins to shake. Whoa, 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 whoa. And before you, this creature stands up
Jesus.
on, like, it's strange because it's got two small legs in the back and two very long legs in the front. So it's not standing per se, it's just angled. And you see this creature's face with these huge bottom teeth and this massive underbite and these stones that just jaggedly stick up over the front of its face and these two big black eyes. Not quite Ogden. And they're not super tall, but it's got, you see on its legs, it's got pieces of rock attached to it. And it's got pieces of rock, like a big, almost like a shell on its back. And it looks up at you, kind of terrified.
Easy, big fella. Easy.
Hi.
And goes back into a rock. And as it huddles up, you see like almost all the pieces of rock attached to its body perfectly come together to form one seamless chunk of rock, and you would never be able to tell.
All right, group consensus. We call this a rockadillo.
I'm here for rockabilly, but
Maybe if
Dresden
he starts making
needs
more
to make
noise.
like a book of like just that goes through the world naming things. It takes like notes on things and sells like a book at the end of his life. Just writes a book on all the strange creatures he's found and named.
Just confounding all the actual naturalists of the world that have come up with real names for shit. I'm like,
Well,
a
I mean,
rockadillo.
you gotta assume like, you know, like Lewis and Clark. probably went through and they're like, I wonder if anyone's named that yet in the Western
Yeah.
world. I guess it's on us to name this thing. What is it? I don't know. It's kind of grizzly and it's large. It's a grizzly bear. I don't know who named it. I'm just saying.
Fair.
That's where my mind went. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Billy?
I'm with you.
Billy? Nope.
Doesn't seem to
Rockabilly
answer
Dilly?
Billy.
Dillo? Rockabilly Dillo?
Yeah, so
Anyone have a snack? I take out a snack. Do I have a snack? Snack pack? Do
Pop
You
has
have
snacks.
rations. Yeah, you have rations and such.
do we want to
Yeah.
aggravate it? Did it look scary or kind of?
Whoa. Yeah, what did
It
whoa.
looked scared.
You
How
know,
big?
it looked scared. It doesn't necessarily look scary or aggressive, but it is like a large rock. So like
How
it's got
big?
heft to it. It's about the size in total. It's about the size of like a human torso.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
I want to put
Um,
my hand on Dresden's arm and say,
This isn't the time.
this does not seem like a threat, and I do not think this is the time for you to do your hunting.
No, I'm not
Perhaps we
hunting.
should move on.
This thing's been stalking us all day.
We are new in its land. Perhaps it's
No.
just making sure we're not here to hurt it.
Yeah,
Are we
well, I'm
sure
not
it's
hurting it.
this
I'm making an introduction.
What if it's multiple ones?
And what if they have culture? Did you think about that?
That's true, and they might know the way to Hojo, which
Boom.
would be helpful.
It would.
So,
But no, I don't plan on killing this thing. I don't think I could. I think it's made out of a rock. What am I going to do? Drown it? In this arid landscape?
yeah, we don't have any water anyway. Well,
Well, I do.
we have enough
I
water.
made note to bring some.
To be clear, we have enough, but not so much that we could
drowning.
drown. Anyway,
There's no
Okay,
extra
so
water
so
for
I'm gonna
drowning.
ET it. I'm gonna take out my Reese's Pieces. Every adventurer always has. It comes in the Explorer pack. It's a fun
You know,
size
we've got
Reese's
jam.
Pieces.
I mean, not poison. It's regular jam.
I don't trust myself to know the difference between the two. I'm just gonna use my Reese's Pieces, and I'm gonna
Oh.
put some in the just like in front of it, and then I'm gonna just back off, like real easy, real cool, real cool.
And almost like a turtle popping out of its shell. Its head kind of pops up.
All you, bud.
Looks at it,
Yeah,
Just
it smells good. doesn't it?
puzzled.
Peanut buttery.
Do rocks eat food?
then steps out. Kind of looks at it more.
Okay.
Turns to one of the other rocks.
Friends.
Walks over to it, picks it up, and puts it on its back.
The other rock
Yeah,
or the Reese's Pieces.
the rock. And then walks back over to the Reese's Pieces, and they just start sniffing it.
Yeah, it smells good, right?
And they just continue to marvel over it. They don't
I
eat
eat
it.
some of my ration. Just showing them, guys, hey, huh? Right?
When it looks
I'm just
at
gonna
you,
hand
looks
Dresden
down.
a gem, maybe. See, like, try this.
Well, not everyone is a psycho for
And
for
you
valuables. as
pull
you are.
out that gem, and instantly they look at it.
Oh no!
Just eyes.
I'm handing it
Right.
to Dresden really fast.
Wait,
No,
maybe
no,
it's-
no! Don't! Oh God! I don't want this.
And it literally, it's weird because it has those weird legs, but it just kind of puts its butt on the ground and then drags itself forward towards you, Dresden.
Oh, it needs to be have its anal gland expressed. That's not my job.
Maybe give it the rock.
Cornelia, are you gonna be upset if I give this to this thing?
It's my least favorite one, so it's fine.
Okay.
And you
Ask
put it
him
out
on
and it just.
Hojo.
Oh God! I count my fingers.
Oh, now I'm upset.
It just eats the
Yeah,
gem.
you should be. Yeah. What did you expect?
I don't know.
And
What,
it
it would
starts
just lick
dragging
it?
itself
like a lollipop?
happily. You see it just elated, starts dragging itself in a circle.
Okay,
And it walks over to the other stones and they seem to just start stacking on top of each other excitedly, and they make
I
like
don't
this
know why they're doing that.
this little pillar, and in almost perfect unison, you see the biggest rock is on the bottom, and they stack by size,
Oh,
there's about
it's a very
6 of them
Yertle
just-
turtle.
stacked on top of each other, and you hear just low grumbling.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Are there any shadows? Moving shadows?
Okay,
So you're in the. There are some clear spaces where there are sun, but
Joe.
he's in the shadow itself, and you could move them over into the shadows to see if you wanted, or you could try and lure them into the sunlight, like the beams of sunlight.
you got more gems?
No.
You have a second least favorite gem?
Let me
I
try
have a
something.
copper coin.
Does anyone have any diamond? Didn't we have like diamond dust or like crushed up gems or like? Can we give them cocaine?
Can I wander up to them and cast Speak with Animals?
Okay. Yeah, you cast Speak with Animals, and you don't. You get the sense they're not in the animal domain. They're not in tune in that way. Your magic doesn't really have that effect, but you do hear from all around you low humming sounds of just like a and you look up and you notice on all the cliffs there are these quadrupedal things, some of them 50, 60 feet up, just standing against the wall looking at you.
All right. Wait.
Not rock, the little like lamb looking
The goats?
creatures. Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
It's impressive.
Spire goats.
Chameleon goats, yeah.
What? That's what you hear Kelwise back.
Who?
Hi.
Hi.
Hojo?
Hide.
Hide.
Hide?
Hide.
Where?
Quick. Hide.
Oh no! Oh my God.
Quick hide! Quick hide! Everyone, quick hide!
I'm hiding under
I
the
don't
dress.
know. I don't know what's
I'm
happening. I
hiding
was
under the
told
dress.
by
I'm
the goat said quick hide.
I back up against the rock and hide behind my shield.
Yeah, is there any place to just take cover?
Yeah, so all of you guys, there's plenty of little areas and such. You could try and hide.
Can I try to do like minor illusion as just a rock? I
Yeah,
know it's
you
not gonna
cast
cover
minor
all of
illusion,
us,
But you cast
yeah.
it on yourself, and whoop, you look like a normal
Up
rock.
against the wall. Up against the wall. Don't be in the middle when you do that. Oh my God! I just run. I just go and try and push myself down into a crevice or something.
And you guys all hide pretty quickly. And you're hiding for maybe what seems like 15 minutes, just kind of in this heat. You're sweating and such. And you don't hear or see anything. And then a quick blip blots out the sun and comes back again. And you hear the scraping sounds on the rock coming from high up. Something soft. It seems to be leaping from pillar to pillar overhead. And those of you who can peek out and see, there's this massive creature with this hard shell and these two huge claws and like 20 different little almost insectoid legs, and it's jumping from pillar to pillar, looking around, and it jumps right above you all, looking around, and this big clawed hand, and Maeve, you would have seen that same claw marks you see in this area, and its arm just shoots out, and that one small little lamb that you were talking to, Kelwise, it just snatches it in the blink of an eye, and within 2 leaps, gone. into the distance as if this thing grabs you and is just gone in an instant. And
Fucking
you're just
little
waiting
buddy.
for a little while,
Yeah.
and you don't hear
Didn't even
anything.
follow its own advice. It's so weird. And
And
unexpected.
right after that
Okay.
happens, the goats just kind of come down from the mountain a little bit, and then just start rummaging around.
Okay.
And what?
Good
Could
advice from
you-
the goats. Talk to the goats again.
Yes, ask them where to go.
Or
Yeah, which way
like,
did
what
that
the
creature
fuck
go?
just happened?
All of the above.
I don't know how much information I'm really going to get from them, but I
They'll
could.
Well,
try.
just try. They just saved our lives.
Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll give it another shot. I'll,
I look at Maeve like the first time we've agreed on something. Like, yeah.
I'll cast Speak with Animals again. We'll try to have a conversation with the now more friendly, passive goats.
And you hear just grumbling like, food, 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 food.
Food. Creature?
Bad.
Shadow?
Shadow.
Creature?
Bad. Creature.
Where?
Hide.
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 Hide where?
Hi.
Hi. Underground?
It seems to not understand underground.
Cave?
Hide, high. And it jumps and it just starts climbing haphazardly, leaping up, and it's kind of weird. It's almost as if its hooves just like lock in, and it gets very, very high on the cliff.
Water?
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 And it slowly makes its way back down. And the whole time it's like stumbling over itself. And at every single point you're like, oh, it's gonna fall and die. Oh, it's gonna fall and die. And it just never does. And it
Do
makes its
it.
way down. And it walks kind of over to an area and starts digging at the ground. And you see him digging and digging and digging, and uncovers this little rocky outcropping. And he peels back a stone, and you see that there's like a little bit of like trickling water in one area.
Hojo?
Water. And it looks again, doesn't understand Hojo.
Is it close enough that I could take it some jam, non-poison jam? As a
Sure.
thank you?
Yeah, no, it's just kind of
I'll just
seems
sort
kind of excited to be talking to you.
Ask people. Ask
Yes, people or city maybe.
Okay.
building.
Yeah,
home.
it's an animal. I don't know.
Culture?
People. And I like kind of
No.
hand the jam.
Or a house.
Looks at the jam and then just starts eating it like crazy.
Yeah, likes the jam. Likes the jam, guys. Building.
Building. No.
Plants?
House.
Plants, maybe, or moving.
And it
Moving.
nudges the rocks. Moving.
Or shadow. Maybe ask its shadow. Moving shadow.
Shadow. I think I
I
asked
think
Shadow.
that's that, maybe, yeah.
It looks over at the stones and it just kind of headbutts them and knocks them over. And they all just kind of fall over with like a and it kind of rolls the rocks out into the sun. And you guys notice it's kind of uncanny, but these things, their shadow is backwards.
Oh, they
And they
are
quickly
the moving
just
shadow.
start stack up again really quickly into this. And you kind of notice, and you're looking at it, they look very similar to the spires around you, albeit only a few feet tall. And you notice that their shadow unnaturally is backwards in the sunlight. Shadow.
What does that mean? We go that way, or do we follow these creatures? What does that mean? What's happening?
I don't know. I think we're gonna have to figure it out from here on our own, guys. And I just give the animal that I'm gonna call Roger just a really nice pat on the back and kind of just really get in there.
Yeah, and he really,
Nice.
really digs into it, loves it.
Yeah.
A little
Good job,
too much. Like
Oh.
every time you stop, it starts nipping at your hand
Okay.
to keep going.
Okay. Okay. Well, a little more, but only a little bit. Okay.
And you stop it.
No. Stop. I just kind of tap it a few times, get it to wander off. Like, I'm done with you. Go away.
Yeah, and your spell wears off, and it looks at you, and clearly it's trying to communicate, but it can't. And quickly it kind of loses focus, looks around, and then just starts jumping up one of the walls. And you notice like its fur just starts shifting colors quickly, and all of a sudden just becomes indistinguishable from the wall. To the point where you're staring straight at it, you can't even see it anymore, even though you saw it jump up there.
Man, we should
hope we
shear
don't
those
need to go
guys.
up.
Get some of that
Do you-
fur.
Yeah. Do you think we need to?
Cornelia Co needs to sell that fucking fur.
Yeah, we have a lot of. I'm marking that in my notebook.
Yeah, write that down as a business idea.
Write that one down.
So do we follow the moving rocks? Do they move?
I don't know. to
Is
me it
there a
seemed
way
like
to
they stacked up
distinguish
and
them?
stopped moving.
Is there a way to distinguish them from the non-moving rocks, or is there like indistinguishable unless we see them?
It seems that they look identical to rocks, and you wouldn't even
Okay.
know. Even now that they're stacked up and you're staring at them and you know what they are, your brain kind of is tricking you to thinking they're just rocks.
It's too bad.
We try knocking him back into the sun again.
Can I try? Oh no, never mind. It's just one word. Never mind.
But it does seem like
So wait, we have to follow the rocks, or the, because it.
no. It said the shadows are moving.
But it was the shadows of those lamb goat creatures, I thought.
Yeah, what exactly happened?
No. So the rocks, the strange rock creatures, their shadows seem to be backwards
Was a
from
rock
everything
creature.
else.
Oh, okay. So it was the rock.
Describe backwards. Like
Like
180
Wherever-
degrees?
yeah,
Or in
exactly
the sky.
180 degrees.
Okay.
And then they're staying on the east side of the spires, behind, in shadow, basically, if the sun is setting. If that
Yeah.
makes any difference.
Well, not necessarily.
Oh.
Just their shadows are. When everything else, like when the sun is
They're on
in the east,
side.
their shadow
Mhm.
seems to always be pointing towards the sun. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
And what did the Fisher King say?
To look
What
for
was-
a
what
moving,
were-
hunt the moving shadow.
Yeah.
Hunt the moving
Hunt?
shadow.
I recall it as look for. I don't remember the word hunt being involved previously, but
I just got yelled at for potentially hunting something.
Yeah, Maeve doesn't like that.
as long as we don't have to hunt the thing with the claws, I think we'll be okay.
So we have to, but we've been hearing the rocks the whole time.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe we just keep going. What do you guys think?
Well, we certainly should not just stay here, so I guess we
What
keep
time is
going,
it?
yes?
It's getting close to dark. at this point. And
Okay.
dark comes quite a bit earlier just for the sake that there's really no horizon at this point.
Okay. Here's the thing. Is the wind still blowing?
The wind seems to be blowing and it seems to be picking up quite a bit.
I don't like that. All right. So our goat friend told us to hide high, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not especially excited about being down here at night.
Okay.
I don't know about you all. I'm wondering if maybe we try and make it to the top of one of those and camp on the top of a spire. Now I'm
But
wondering
the-
also if it's too windy, we might be too exposed.
And the creature that it took was hiding high, and it still found it. So
Well,
I don't understand.
Not all the way high.
Yeah, it was something like middle high.
Yeah. I don't know.
Average.
Cornelia, do you think you could fly up to the top of one of those if we kite you again? How high are those? And how high was Cornelia last time?
Cornelia was a couple, like 150 feet up-ish, and they're
And how
about
high are they?
they're about 250 to 300 feet tall. So she made it up about halfway.
I mean, that would get us the hell out of Dodge,
I'm-
but it would put us near those flying leather daddies.
Well, what if we did what you wanted to do to the flower, and we set up the tarp, and we were under it? It's in the dark, probably close enough color, and maybe good enough hiding from that thing.
I think
And-
our tarp isn't the right color, though, right?
But if it's dark, if it's
Yeah.
nighttime, it might matter less if it's exact match. We just need to. I mean, I just hid behind a shield and was not taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can always throw dirt on top of it. It'll make it camouflaged a little bit more.
That's true.
It's a
What
good
do you guys
point.
think? What do you want to do?
Think we. I feel like on top of the spire is going to be scary. What if, like you guys were saying, the wind and I feel
Yeah,
like we
that
would be
sounds
more
scary.
exposed, but maybe not if everything's staying below. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could
Sorry.
always go on top and still do the tarp thing. Just put ourselves under the tarp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But that
I'm
assumes
worried
we
about
can all get up there.
yeah.
Well, I
That's
mean,
what
I'm assuming what we would do was kite Cornelia up. Cornelia would put a piton or two into the rock, and then we'd climb up.
Yes.
Smart. That's a good way.
Do we know how much time passed from when we started, when we got off the boat and
It's
started walking
been
to
about-
the thing coming by, that
It's been
creature
about,
coming
like,
by?
8 hours-ish. You guys have been
Okay.
traveling for quite some time.
Okay.
I wish we knew how often that came by. If it was once a day, twice a day, 3 times, because maybe we are
Creature?
fine until this time next day. But
Or
we
how
don't know.
many
I think,
are.
yeah, I don't think there's probably just one, and I
When
think
they
they come by as often as they're hungry.
Do you think they hunt at night if they were hunting in the middle of the day? Or other things are hunting at night, maybe even?
don't know.
Well, maybe
Before we
should.
lose the light,
I
would
do
probably be the
fear
best
being-
time to find out.
Closer to those birds, though. I don't really want to be nearer them. They don't look friendly.
You were saying they're scavengers, though. They won't attack us if
That's what
if
it
we're
seems.
alive. Maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're necessarily interested in us until we're dead. Or dying.
Well, we're not dead yet.
That's true.
In fact, I'm feeling much better.
Could you talk to one of them? Is
I
it
can
an
try.
animal?
Might need to get a little bit closer.
Have to be
Might
up
be
there.
closer up high, yes.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah, I can certainly try. We'll see if maybe they can hold the conversation as well. I was really surprised I got answers. To be totally honest, it was a very intelligent creature, despite the fact that it couldn't talk.
Yes, well, and you're very talented to be able to do that spell, so I am not surprised.
Doesn't hurt.
All right, so you're gonna fly up there, Cornelia?
What do you guys think? Should I do it?
If you're willing, I mean, it couldn't hurt to know what's above us either way, even if we decide not to actually stay up there.
All right, I'll
Follow?
go for it. I won't be able to see very far because it's already dark, or will I be able to?
Well, it's like maybe 5 o'clock, so it's not dark yet.
All right.
It's just
all right.
where
do
you're
it.
at. There's no like the sun goes down really like about 3 o'clock, just because you're so close to these really tall spires.
All right, I'm gonna. All right, hold on to this rope.
I got it.
Okay. Roll a athletics check or acrobatics check to try and fly up there.
So 12.
So you managed to fly up, and it's not great. Usually you have big wide open spaces, but you're trying to go up without smashing into any of these spires. And you start hearing that chittering, clicking sound as you start going up further and further and further. And as you get close to the top, you start to hear a commotion clearly directed at you as these things start to hiss. As you start to get close.
What things?
You start to see on the edges, these huge claws are grabbed onto the side, and these long, narrow-headed, leathery creatures start to be basically looking down at you. You're maybe
Like,
50 feet
looking
away
like
from
they're
them.
Pounced, or look like they're just gonna stay where they're at and protecting something, or can I tell?
Roll an animal handling or survival. Roll a survival check.
Survival.
And you start to see more and more of them till about a dozen of them kind of pop up on various different spires looking at you.
It ends up being a 12.
12. Hard to tell. You just don't get something either way, but you do hear that hissing sound coming from one of them as you got
How high
close.
am I?
Starts
How
clicking.
high?
You're about 200 feet in the air.
And are
Dresden,
they
you've
on?
tied a ton of lengths of rope together to try and make sure that this.
Well, I think I had 500 feet of rope to begin with.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
And
Yeah.
are they just on one side, or the spire that I'm?
400. I have 400 feet.
Oh, nice.
You're carrying trust and 400 feet of rope on you at the same time. I love that.
And the armor and your
They don't
sword.
seem to be on any one particular side. They just seem to be all kind of huddled around where you are, looking at you. And they kind of move back and forth like this as they sit there, just staring at you.
Like Axl Rose.
If
one of them again.
I kind of, so I'm gonna stay kind of farther away from the spire in case they like leap at me. But can I kind of circle around to see if there's a clear path up there? Do they follow?
They're all just locked onto you, watching you.
Okay,
In the
there's
air?
nowhere else. Okay.
But there are some clear spaces around you. They're not like completely blocking every space.
And how many are there?
There's about a dozen of them just kind of up there. And they're maybe the same, they're maybe a little bit smaller than Dresden at the back of their head, but they're pretty big.
All right. I'm gonna go back down.
Okay.
And
And as you start to go back down, you just hear that chittering sound start to echo from all around them.
I'm gonna go back down faster.
Okay. And you just kind of and catch yourself and land.
You look concerned.
Well,
What's that like
I
up
don't
there?
know. There were quite a few. There were like a dozen of those leather guys, and they were definitely looking at me. I don't know if they were territorial or if they were gonna attack me, but there was like no clear passage to the top.
No clear passage?
I didn't see. I mean, there were some random
So-
spots, but they were just like locked on me, so they would just probably follow me anywhere if I tried to. Like, you
Okay.
guys wouldn't just be able to climb up a rope without maybe having to attack them, or
I see.
maybe they put. Maybe they would wait till we're sleeping. Whatever the case is, they saw me and were
Yeah.
interested.
And the only thing I'm thinking is, if they're safe up there, that means that up there is safe. If you're safe from them.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. You would think. So
What
if
is
they're
your
chopping food
what's your
chain-
gut telling you? Were they going to attack you? What do you think?
I think if I could stay far enough away from them to make it up there, maybe I would be okay. But I think that they would have. I mean, I was probably a snack to them. So
All right, no, that's fair.
Maybe we could try a different spire that has less on it if we could find such a thing. Maybe
Maybe.
this was just a particularly occupied one. I don't know.
It's just like a super popular spire.
Or
I
they're
mean,
Yeah, I
following-
it's
mean-
hard to tell from down here how many might be up there.
Yeah.
It's very high up.
yeah. Uh,
I mean,
y'all
I think that maybe if we pitch that tarp against a spire, and then there are some of us that take watch while some of us sleep, I don't see why it would be a problem. It feels much more dangerous to climb up 300 feet than to try and hide down here.
yeah, we'd
Well,
be stuck. Maybe.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe not right. Maybe even if there's something slightly above the ground, it wouldn't be a terrible idea. But I agree. I think being concealed is probably going to be our best option at this time.
All right. Well, then let's do that. Let's keep moving and look for a place that might shelter us pretty well. Maybe a little bit of an overhang,
Yeah.
something we could move a rock or two and get a little bit of a gap between us, or a shield. You know what I mean?
Can I walk over to the stack of rock creatures and just be like, "Hello, could you help us hide?"
And one of them pops up. Bah, 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 bah.
Could you help us not be seen? Could you surround us so we could sleep?
Bah, 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 bah.
Yes, could you surround us so that we can sleep?
And he stacks one on his head and walks around you.
I don't know if that's a yes or a no.
I think it's a yes.
Like shelter? Could you be our shelter? We will give you more rocks. I look at Cornelia and I'm like,
Bah, 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 bah. And he like talks to the other guys, and they all kind of make a circle around you, and then their heads kind of pop up, very expectantly, waiting.
I think they're waiting for their snack.
I'll
Do you
pull out
have,
my
like,
my
quartz-
second least
quartz?
favorite one?
Or some semi-precious stones, not the precious ones, but the semi-precious.
I'll pull my tiniest one out. That's my least favorite.
Okay. You pull out the stone and you throw it. Are you gonna give it to Maeve? What are you
Yeah.
doing with it?
I'm gonna give it to Maeve.
Okay. You give it to Maeve, and you're holding it, and all of them kind of just follow your hand wherever it
There
goes.
are so many. I do not think we can do just one. I look at Kawai's and Jasmine. Do you have any stones as well? She seems very unwilling to give up more. But
I
this
mean,
is
if I
the
had-
Really? I've given you guys 2.
Got an angular core.
If I had, I do have one small emerald. I don't know how the hell I
What?
got it.
Let me look at that. How nice is it?
I take it from him.
No,
Okay.
let me look at it.
Yeah,
I see
I
it.
have
Where
one
is it
small-
from?
How many creatures are expectantly waiting?
There's a half dozen of them.
So I'll go to 2 that haven't been fed yet, because the one got the nice gem.
Mhm. Well,
So I'll go
got
to
the
2
least fed
others.
gem. Okay.
Well,
And,
he doesn't know that.
They you pop it out and they just grab it from your hand. And
I don't
you
have
see
any
them-
stones.
you
do
see
I?
them kind of shaking a little bit. And it might be a trick of the light, hard to tell, but you almost see the rocks on their bodies start to grow.
Oh.
Almost like
What?
flesh being just
Interesting.
built over, like a shell being built on a shell.
It's like adding to their armor.
Yeah,
They're
almost.
friendly.
Yeah, all I have is a block of incense, which I don't think they want.
And
so.
they all seem to be really happy and excited for each other. When one grows, they all seem to be dancing excitedly, and then they all stack up according to size now, slightly skewed now. Different order because they're all different sizes.
Total bros. I
Can
like
I
it.
pull out some rusty knives? Do they like any of with?
Metal?
Are they eyeballing any of those?
Yeah, you pull out the knives, they don't even seem to notice them. They seem to pay attention to metal the same way that they
What about
pay
a
attention
mirror?
to dirt. Mirror? You show them the mirror. Are you showing it to them? And they kind
Yeah.
of look in the mirror and then puzzled, completely puzzled and perplexed by the mirror. They just stare at themselves, and it doesn't seem like they truly understand what they're seeing. And some of them even try and talk to themselves in the mirror. And they kind of scare
no.
themselves back a little bit.
They don't pass the mirror test, so culture's probably on the out.
That's you.
Well, they didn't talk either. So
Fair.
So
I think they want the stones.
Yeah, they seem to like the stones.
Pretty much.
I'm
only
very sorry,
given-
Cornelia, that you're the only one with them. And next time we are somewhere with with shops, I will buy you some more. I would give them mine if I had them, but I just do not.
But I've been waiting for someone to want these stones, and now that someone wants them, I don't want to give them away.
That is a very common thing of human nature, but listen, it is better than us having to sleep 300 feet up next to those vulture black birds, right? This is
Leather
much
daddies.
nicer. Yes, the leather daddies. This is much nicer, no? And I promise I will get you at least one, depending on prices, maybe several new stones next time we go somewhere where they sell them.
All right.
I
just
do
gonna say-
apologize, though, that none of us can help and that it is all falling on your shoulders. I am
I already helped.
very sorry for that. You did, yes.
Oh, so it's all up to me now. It's all on my shoulders.
You are our savior of the evening, yes. You are the hero of the night.
The hero, the savior. Oh,
That's why we call it Cornelia Co.
well, all right.
Good point.
Trust's statue just rattles a little on just. I don't think it can.
Easy, girl.
I'm
Easy.
gonna hand over the gems to Maeve with like a shaky hand.
Oh,
Like it's
sweet.
very difficult, and to let go of them very reluctantly.
I'll give Cornelia 10 gold for all her gems.
Okay. So you
Maeve.
make a little exchange, and the second you pull those gems out, Cornelia, all 6 of them fall down off their little rock stacking, and they all kind of just like follow, like just big giant black eyes just kind of follow your hand, and then over to Maeve's hand, and they all grab the ground and just scoot themselves really close to you, Maeve.
Okay, who has not gotten one yet? Them first. Who has not had any? If I can remember.
This
It-
Yeah, roll an intelligence check. Let's see if you can discern who got one and who
Remember.
didn't.
Are there enough of them to really protect us, like provide protection?
I mean,
There better be. I gave all my
you
gems.
you haven't seen them fight anything.
Well, I'm not talking about fighting. Like, if they were to stack up and kind of like
Do they cover us?
cover us a bit. I think that was the
To
intent,
make
right?
like a
like a
Yeah.
shelter of sorts.
probably
Rock
not.
shelter.
There's about 6 rocks. There's about 6 rocks about the size of a human torso.
Okay.
Right,
do-
but could we do like 3 and then 3 on top against a pillar and then tarp? Kind of like a little.
You might. I mean, yeah, you could make them. They would at least form like the pillars of some
Yeah.
kind of like structure.
More
Yeah.
cover than we currently have. All right,
Yeah.
how many?
Can
How
rock
many?
into
I
them.
rolled a 19 for intelligence.
A 19, yeah. So you've taken stock, and you remember the 3 that got him and the 3 that didn't. And it's really hard to tell, but you've kind of been watching them to make sure that you were fair, because fairness is important. And so you're gonna feed the other 3.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you feed the other 3 these gems, and they all seem to just in pure elation jump around and really excitedly as their bodies grow a little bit. Not a huge amount, that they do grow noticeably.
Okay. Like trying to instruct them, like.
Yeah,
Go
we-
to sleep now.
We could just try to like place them where we want them to go, or
Yeah, I try and
hope
like
for the
get
best.
them to like we're all against. We'll pick the. Is there like a primo spot? Is there like a certain pillar of rocks that would
Okay,
suit
yeah.
what we're trying
Yeah,
to
you
do?
sure.
find
Kristen
like
probably
you
uses-
find on a particularly flat spot against the eastern edge of one of the spires that you could make a little tarped area, and roll me a persuasion check. You find like hurting these guys is similar to like getting like a Great Dane to do exactly what you want, to lay exactly how you want. It's tough because they're
Damn it. Wait, do I have shoot. I'm like, do I have anything that can boost this? Is there one that seems like it's in charge?
No, not necessarily. It just, they all seem to be pretty even as far as like their status within the group. Just
Did
some
you
are
try
bigger than
please?
others.
Yeah, so I rolled a 7. So I could try. Can I cast command on one and just be like, there?
You try a whole bunch of stuff, including magic and such, and it eventually you get them to stack up how you want. But for those of you watching, it is like a comedy of
Herding
errors.
cats?
As one puts one on top of its head, and then a third one will go and put it on top of its head, but you kind of want, you're like, no, you over there, and then doesn't understand, so they all just kind of fall over, laugh a little bit, and then start restacking. And
Do they jump or
this-
do they climb when they do that?
They seem to climb,
Climb. Okay.
and every once in a while you'll catch one rolling. They seem they seem to just scoot their bodies along the floor, and their feet kind of like how a turtle's back feet will just kind of push it across the ground. It looks like their back feet just kind of push them against the ground as they drag themselves, but they do roll every once in a while, and you'll notice that their rock form almost compresses into more of a spherical shape when they roll, and it's kind of impressive.
Is it all tiny rocks, or is there like a large torso and then small rocks for the legs?
Yeah, it seems like they have like almost like a turtle shell on their back, like one big rock, and then it's got other
Oh.
just sections of rock
Yeah.
on their arms. Well, they just kind of have two long legs in the front and 2 short legs in the back. And so
we can sleep now, I guess? They're protecting
yeah,
us?
and then they kind of make like 2 little pillars, and you guys get your tarp out and put it over, and you put the tarp on the rocks, and they all kind of just like, "Bleh." Like, on the tarp.
Yeah,
they
they
don't-
like it.
They don't know how to make out of it, but they seem kind of excited about this. And you guys have a little bit of shelter, and they seem to be perfectly content in their rock form. And it seems like after a while they get the idea of what they're doing with this tarp.
All
And-
right.
I just wanted to make a quick recon around too and make sure there weren't any of those flower things anywhere nearby. Really.
Okay, yeah, roll an investigation.
14 plus 1, 15.
15. You do a recon around, mostly to the west, to make sure none of that wind would be blowing straight down at you. And you don't seem to see any of those flowers, at least directly to your west. You do see some pretty far off to the north and south, but nothing like that. And you guys notice that the sun now, pretty low in the sky. Twilight hours as the stars are just starting to come out.
I'd say we make a fire, but it seems like a bad idea, and there's nothing around to burn. So
Yeah, I think we go as dark as possible.
Yes, that makes sense. Should we set up watches?
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I'll take first if no one else wants to.
I'll go with you.
Well, I'll take
Okay.
the second one.
All right. So, Dresden and Maeve, you guys take watch as Kelwise and Cornelia get some shut-eye. Roll me a perception check. And you guys aren't lighting any torches or fire or anything like that.
No,
That's a
nothing like that.
6 for me.
6.
Uh,
And it's not. It's still pretty warm. That air blowing through.
I'm exhausted
Hot.
from
And
sending
notice-
these rocks
yeah.
in the
And
formation.
the wind is still blowing pretty hard. And maybe a little bit of a I don't want to say like gusts, but because it's that very steady wind, but you do notice it's been picking up throughout the day.
14 for me.
14. So you guys stay up. You don't really hear much. Every once in a while you hear just like a hoof or something off in the distance. And throughout you hear you can now hear Cornelia had described that sound, and you look up and you can see that there's those leathered creatures up top. Some of them have climbed pretty far down now. You see them climbing down the slopes, kind of looking through this canyon all around. Obviously hunting for something to eat or anything, leftovers or something like that. They don't come down far enough to you or anywhere near you guys, though. And 4 hours passes, nothing really.
Maeve,
Yes.
now that I got you,
You do not have me. What?
just an expression. I don't actually
Oh.
have you.
I apologize. Did not know that one.
No need to apologize. But what do you've seen this place is pretty awful. What do you have wrapped up in this? Why come with us on this?
I'm on a mission, just as you are, and it takes me to Hojo.
What mission?
For my people. I was sent out by them to search out Hojo in search of answers and
Why so
more.
vague?
Well, because me and my people were very secretive. We don't share about ourselves because it does not end well, and I'm sworn to keep my oaths, and keeping my people safe is one of them.
Is secrecy part of your oath?
Well, keeping my people safe by not revealing too much about them, yes, is part of my oath. So, in a way, secrecy is part of my oath.
And you don't think you can trust us yet?
It's been, how many days has it been?
It's been, well, you were on the ship with them for about a week. So it's been maybe 10 days.
Okay, and I heard them talking about when they were all debating over Trust's body, they talked about the Oath Seed and the is it Oathkeeper? I always say it wrong.
Keeper.
The Vow Keeper.
Yeah.
The Oath Seed from the Vow Keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They make it complicated.
Well, you must understand, I've never ventured outside of the land of my people, and all of you, your what kind of creatures you are, it's all very new to me, and I'm very wary. I would not want to be the reason that some sort of downfall came to my people, but I've seen how much you care about each other, and that is inspiring, and it gives me hope. All I can say at this point in time is my people, we work for almost, this is not right, but we are in working relations with the Vow Keeper, and we are searching for more answers and for more gods of the world.
And you? You don't
Me
have
what?
You don't have any personal goals? And I mean, it's one thing to put the entire, I mean, I guess I'm speaking a bit from experience here, but world on your shoulders, but what do you get out of it? Aren't you still a person at the end of the day? Don't you have desires, needs, wants?
I am living my desire. I worked my whole life to become a warrior for my people, and it is finally here, and this is my first big mission. I've been trusted with it solo, so you can understand even more so I would not want to risk anything, as it's my first time out.
I'm not gonna pry. I'm not gonna pry if you...
No,
I'm just
of
wondering...
course. I'm just saying that I'm living my desire. I trained my whole life to be a warrior for my people. I fought and I had to prove myself, and it was very difficult, and emotionally and physically and in all of the ways. And I was risen to the top, and now I am here to protect all of them.
Okay. Well, I hope you're successful.
As do I. And I hope you are all successful as well, for I can only... Well, I do understand losing someone close to you, and if you have a chance to bring her back, then I wish you all the luck in the world.
It's not going to be luck that does it.
Well,
it's going to be the amount that we care for her. And it's a lot.
That is very heartwarming to hear. You know, there's so much evil in the world, and I'm here to fight all of it. I vow to destroy all of the evil
you've got
that I come across.
These vast declarative statements, but honestly, level with me. It's the first time you've left home. How's it going? Really?
Well, really, it is incredibly overwhelming, but I'm doing my best.
I'm not saying you weren't. Is it living up to what you thought it would be?
It is very interesting. Of course, you can never really know a place or people till you've seen it for yourselves. And
Sure.
I'm sure my people have their own prejudices that they warn against protect the outside worlds, to help keep us safe at the heart, but it's fascinating learning more. I'm just constantly taking it all in and hope to bring back new information to them as well so that we can teach those back home even more accurately about what is out here.
Well, best of luck then.
Thank you.
All right, should we wake these guys up?
I think it is time.
All right.
And you wake them up. It's the middle of the night.
What'd we miss?
A whole lot of nothing.
Whoa,
The
whoa.
leather daddies have descended a little bit. Looks like they're scavenging, hunting, looking for food. So keep an eye on them.
Okay.
Other than that, not much.
No weird shadowy creatures or
Not
things
that I
with
saw.
claws. No.
No.
Stampeding beasts. Weird vine.
No
Worry about
stampedes.
yourself.
No. Okay. Okay. That's good. Well,
Yeah.
try to get some shut eye. We'll keep an eye out.
Sounds
And,
good.
If something comes to eat you, we'll scream.
Sounds
That
good. I mean,
sounds
if you
great.
could just kick me, might be better, but same deal.
Should I kick you before or after screaming?
And where do we kick you?
Before.
Before screaming. Okay.
So anywhere but my face, please.
Anywhere in the face and then scream.
And this is about the time you guys notice Fitz has this
Oh no.
super luxurious looking sleeping bag. I don't know where he got it or when he got it, but it's like embroidered. It says
wow.
it has a J and an F on it. And he's like wrapped up tight with a little grin on his face. And,
A
and
J
you look
and
at it
an
and you're
F.
like, it could be like silk lined on the inside. It's hard to tell.
You look comfy.
And he's just kind of snoring loudly.
Wow.
Can I just slip
Let
a
him sleep.
couple of my crabs in there?
In his
No.
mouth?
Cornelia,
Sleeping.
Cornelia, let him
Oh.
sleep.
Oh, in his
Let him
sleeping
sleep.
bag.
Right.
Cornelia,
Okay, I will.
let him sleep.
Just one night without pranks.
If he starts screaming, and you know he will, we could get eaten. So please, come on.
Okay.
Now, if you want to do it tomorrow when he sets the bag up, then I go to sleep.
All right, Cowboys,
So I'm gonna-
Cornelia,
Crab in his. I'm just kidding.
roll me a perception check.
All right. Oh, I was gonna say good night. I just want to say good night to Maven Dorvish too. By the way, whatever that
And what does
sounds
that
like.
sound like, Cornelia? What is a Dorvish good night?
Good night.
Yes, yes.
I just am like, oh, good night.
Canon. It's canon now.
Yeah. Nice. All right, cool. Those two go to bed next to Fitz in his glorious sleeping bag. You both
And I
roll me
rolled
a
a 14.
16 for
14
me.
and a 16. You guys, are you lighting any lights? Are you guys doing anything? Torches, campfires?
No, I'm just looking with my dark vision. Hopefully,
Okay, yeah. And Kelwise, you can kind of see the stars above, but it's like pitch black. You kind of resign yourself down here to just listening more than looking. You can kind of see the moonlight and the stars light up the tops of these peaks, but very quickly the light just drops to nothing down here.
Just, kick me or scream if you see something. Otherwise, I can pretty much just hear.
all right. How about I'll just use message and maybe can I keep that open? Actually, is that how that
It
works?
takes 6 seconds. You just cast it.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I'm right here. You could just.
Well, in case you. All right, that's fine.
However you want to do it, but
And you guys
You're in
spend the
whispering
time.
Coweyes.
What?
There's nothing.
You hear something about an hour in.
Oh.
A distant shriek or roar of some sort. It's hard to tell. It almost sounds like wind blowing through a veil. Hard to tell. It's very, very, very distant. And other than that, for the most part, you start to see the blues returning to the sky as the stars start to fade out, masked by the sun's light. And the sun starts to rise in the morning, and all of you kind of wake up.
With the wind, were there any scents or anything, smells with it, or okay?
Didn't seem like there was any smell. Nothing really changed.
Was it headed east or?
The sound? The sound came from the west.
Okay.
and one time only.
You only heard it once. The sun starts to rise. You're still masked in shadows. It's warm now, like very, very warm morning. All of you kind of notice you're starting to sweat a little bit. The wind has picked up, and it's a hot heat.
Oh, I really don't want to put this armor on. But I'm gonna. Someone help with the...
Oh, you take it off? I just figured you slept in it.
Oh, no, you can't sleep in it. It chafes.
I'll help.
Thank you. Sorry if it's sweaty. Are you stealing things from me?
Is there a
No.
crab in his armor?
Ah! I just throw myself to the ground and crush it.
No! It escapes. It escapes.
Dresden, roll me an acrobatics check. We'll see how long you do this.
Oh, 16.
16. Cornelia, you don't actually hear a crunch, but you think you hear a crunch. And Dresden, you can feel a little wet spot in your back.
Oh, why would you do that? What is the matter with you? You think I want to kill these? Oh.
How many
Hope that was
crabs
your
does
back.
she have?
And now I'm wet with crab.
less.
Oh, get it out, get it out, get it out.
Is it my crab? Is it the crab?
Guess it's a crab.
No, you monster.
I'm not...
And you thought maybe right before it died, you heard a little scream. Because as we know, these are screaming crabs.
I'm gonna hide the other crab's eyes so they don't see what's happening.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, here.
Yeah, just a
Ew.
slight crunch.
Oh. Why?
I hate it.
Why are you the way you are?
Why are you a murderer?
I'm not gonna... Alright, hardtack for breakfast, everyone. Let's go.
Hard
Yeah,
time.
we should get a move on before it's
Yeah, we're not cooking.
plants.
What? Ooh, but I need my morning tea.
Yeah, well, you're getting it
I
without
want-
a fire. You get cold brew, friend. Sorry,
I want to
Maeve.
Ooh.
pat all the rocks and be like, thank you so much, thank you.
They pop up. And they all start sniffing your pockets and your pouches.
Yeah, see if they follow us, Maeve.
Can I
I
look
don't-
About feeding
around?
the animals.
Did they
right?
poop any gems out or?
Doesn't seem like they
Pooped
pooped out any gems.
Oh my god.
That's
any-
40 chests right there.
Did any throw up any that they couldn't finish or?
I feel like you have so much money and you know that you're so worried over your gems. You probably have 20 more.
I don't know if I do though.
Yeah, Cornelia has the perfect disposition to be a CEO. Just
Yeah.
watching the stock ticker price all day long, getting Google Glass just to have the stock price going across your vision at all times.
Yes. So you're saying they didn't poop out any gems?
They did not poop out any gems, unfortunately.
All right.
Mm.
Sorry, you're down 6 gems. Well, 5 gems, because Dresden gave 1. And a crab.
Cool. And a crab.
Minus
Great.
5 gems and
Is it
Um,
rock crab? Could we feed the crabs to the rocks?
It is rock. Well, I don't know what they are, but they are tiny.
They were like little hermit crabs,
Oh,
similar
okay.
to hermit crabs,
Understood.
screaming.
So
hermit
only
crabs.
to solo rocks, not to groups,
Yes.
because they're hermits.
Yeah. You guys pack up all your stuff. Fitz,
Self-crowd.
uh, Fitz,
man.
I just love looking at Daye's face right now. You guys pack up. You get all your stuff. Fitz in a little bit of a harumph about his tea, but doesn't throw a fit about it. Doesn't throw a fits about it. Just kind of packs up his stuff.
Boo.
And as you guys start to head out, you notice that the little rocks, these little living rocks, we're gonna call them, I don't know, spiralings for now. These spiralings.
Pillows. Right?
Oh yeah, rockadillos. That scientists would call spiralings. You have thusly named rockadillos. Rockadillos. They seem to stay real close to you, Maeve, and they start to follow you around. And if you walk
Cool.
too fast for them to drag themselves, they curl up and start to roll after you slowly, making just like a low. You guys just hear like this low rumbling sound. It's not loud. They seem to be surprisingly light on their backs as they roll. But they seem to just be following you around, Maeve.
Okay.
Roll me an investigation check.
You got some pets.
Investigation. 11.
11. You noticed yesterday that their shadows were pointing.
East.
Their shadows were pointing away from the sun.
Away from the sun, yeah. Okay.
They were pointing.
Toward the sun.
Toward the sun.
Toward the
Normal
sun.
shadows point away from the sun.
Yes, they were pointing to the west, even though the sun itself was to the west.
Okay.
You notice their shadows are still pointing to the west, now with all the other spires and such in the areas. And when you stop, like really stop and look at them as they curl up and stuff, you could swear, and it's so slow that you just can't tell if it's your eyes, but you could swear that it moves ever so slowly.
The
Just
shadow?
a tiny bit north. They're shadows. Yeah.
Look at their shadows. I think they're moving a little. I'm not sure.
What
But
do you mean?
perhaps these are what we've been looking for. Well, I just look when they stop. It seems like the shadow, it shifted, and should we be walking in the direction of these creatures' shadows?
Yes.
I think you're right. That's it. Yeah. Something about
They're like
the
a
shadows
compass,
moving.
maybe.
Those shadows are moving. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe it's pointing the direction we need to go.
Okay. Well,
By the
then we need
way-
to keep them with us. Unfortunately for you, Cornelia.
I.
I can give you more gold for your sacrifice.
No,
I
I
no,
know
no.
it's not the
This
same.
is a growing experience for her.
No.
Well,
No.
maybe we'll find something along the way that they eat that's, native to here and not Cornelia's gems.
Yeah. I like that idea.
I mean, but
Try
until
a few
then,
things.
I'll be on the lookouts. Are there the loose rocks around? I assume.
There's loose rocks and soil and stuff around.
I'll pick up a loose rock and be like, "Do you also eat these?"
They look at the rock and questioningly kind of look at you. And look
I'm
back at the
sorry.
rock.
I did not mean to insult you. I'm sorry. I like throw it over my shoulder. I'm like,
What about
Maybe-
these
They all kind of fall.
shells?
Shells?
ooh, shells.
Like
Yeah.
seashells?
Yeah.
They look at the shells. Very interested in the shells. They sniff them and look at them, but they don't seem to eat them, and they don't have the same fascination that they did with the gems.
Damn it. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for anything they're eating, foraging, and then I'm gonna look for their poop to see if they poop out gems.
I mean, you would think at some point in
Okay.
time we're going to either find one eating or we're going to find one pooping. That's usually what animals do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they just start to follow you. And you guys use the little pieces of sun to look around and the little spots where the sun shoots between the spires. There's very few little beams, and you guys kind of stop every once in a while to check and make sure that you're going the same way. And it's a kind of a northwestern trajectory, and so you guys kind of pivot and start heading north. As the sun starts to come higher in the sky, you guys start to see every once in a while those pleasure blossoms. The sun is getting closer and closer to the actual buds that you had seen so many times.
All right, it's time to take a break then,
This is
right?
the best part.
Let's
No.
start
We're
one.
not doing that.
No,
again.
hey, junkie.
I'm just trying to
No.
chase that feeling, man.
Let's try that tarp one. Everyone get your little pouch ready. But all right, we're gonna try and cover
Yeah,
one
we're
with the
gonna.
tarp.
Yeah,
Make sure the
it's an
sun
experiment.
doesn't hit it. Let's do it.
Okay, great. So everyone, take some of your powdered whatever it is. Get ready. I kind of like slap myself a couple times, clear my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then and James, we're gonna cover the nearest one. Like if we can find one that's sort of on its own, we're gonna cover that. Hopefully, it doesn't get out in
Okay,
the
yeah.
sun.
So you guys cover it. The sun comes out, and you guys hold it. The rockadillos help you. They seem really excited about making the tarp again that they made last night. You guys fashion something similar to your little
Of course.
rockadillo lean-to, and you cover up the blossom. And as the sun comes out and around, you see a little bit of stirring with the petals as the sunlight hits the roots that kind of wrap around the spire and all around, but it doesn't hit the blossom, and the blossom stays shut. And you see that wind blowing through. You see those pink pieces of what you can assume are pollen flying through here and there from other blossoms nearby, but the sun kind of passes over and stops, and the shadows
can
kind
we
of take
catch
over.
some of
Is
that?
there any way to catch that in one of my pouches? Like just on the wind, just hold it out and hope.
Roll a d100, because there's not a
Ooh.
lot of it here. It was pretty concentrated, and pretty quickly, within maybe like 100 feet, it had really dispersed.
Man, I am one off of the 100 every time. Like seriously, I have hit every number around the 100. This time I got the 33,
The 33, yeah.
right
you
next
hold,
to the 100.
You hold a little container out, a pouch, to try and catch some of this, and you just don't catch a meaningful amount of it. You could see like tiny bits of residue, but not enough to have an appreciable sample, unfortunately.
Okay. Could always try to scrape some off of the plant directly if anyone's feeling brave.
Absolutely
Cornelia.
not. No, thank
No.
you.
Okay. Well, then I'm down to take a nap and wait this out till the sun goes back down enough for us to be able to continue on without.
There's nothing wrong with a nap.
Oh,
Yes, maybe we could make some tea.
Yeah, I'll make you some tea fits.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
but
you,
without
Cornelia.
God.
It's so nice of you.
yeah. What are
You
you
know,
gonna
I
burn
feel
to
like
make the fire?
you and I just didn't get along as well as the others.
Yeah,
I
we
think
don't,
This is
do
maybe
we?
time to rectify that. Because I find that I like you very much.
Oh,
Minus your pranks, of course. Which I know is a large portion of you. But, besides that, I like you very, very much.
thanks.
Your
gonna
proclivity
go make
towards,
some tea.
Oh, okay. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm gonna put some. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna put some Danjer leaves in it.
Oh my god.
I
Oh,
thought
so
she was
you-
gonna put the freaking kelp dust. That's
So for all of you that
Oh
don't know,
my
Danjer leaf is a mild well, not mild. It's a hallucinogenic plant that they've found. So you put some Danjer leaf in his tea. He takes it, wafts a little bit. Oh, this is a very unique blend, Cornelia. It's pungent. Takes a sip. It's very bitter. I like it very much. Thank you, Cornelia.
You're welcome.
And he just
I'm
kind of
gonna just stare at him drinking it.
I like how Cullen's just like shut down. I look at Cullen, he's just like powered down. Like,
I just can't believe we're in such a deadly situation and you're fucking doing this.
Yuck! Yuck!
yeah. And you would argue with trust the most?
It's very good.
You know what? Cornelia's been waiting to get Fitz back for so long. He didn't drink the beer with the ink stain. He's missed all of my pranks. I hate Fitz. I'm kidding. I love Fitz. But...
And you just stare at him. Like he's clearly waiting for a second for you to like turn around so he can just like toss it out.
Sorry.
You just don't. And he sits there and drinks the whole thing as you stare at him.
Guilt.
Very good. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did
Thank
you want
to
another one?
Both of you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Yeah, it's like you can see in his eyes. You just see in his eyes that something is happening. And very quickly, Fitz is just like, not okay, but really wants to be
Hey.
okay.
Hey, Fitz, you okay?
Mother, is that
what?
you?
No.
Oh,
I
Mother,
think he's dehydrated.
I swear this was all a bad dream. I was stuck with a bunch of crazy psycho. Mother, your face.
I'm gonna grab his face.
You're a spider.
Is he? Oh fuck! Is he tripping? Is he tripping?
Did he get the
balls?
blossom? Did he?
And-
He must have.
He seems to be, yeah. I mean, his eyes are red. He's got a little bit of just drool coming down his mouth. And he's just got this crazed expression on his face. And he's just looking at things.
Okay, everyone, be careful, cause there might be something in the air.
I try some of the powder on him. Just be like, hey,
Yeah.
hey, buddy, just sniff a little bit of this.
And maybe to your disgust, he just
oh,
Oh,
that would-
God!
that would burn my nose right out. How are you? Ooh, you
Oh
look
my.
happy about
Okay.
it.
K-Wise,
Yes,
why are you so tall?
I'm very much not tall.
You're
No.
long.
A halfling,
You're
you're
a-
pretty tall.
You're a rather long fellow now.
No, those are my cousins.
Okay. All right. Hey, buddy. Over here.
And yeah, he just continues on. He's easy enough to corral. He just kind of is in his own little world.
Should I like
Did anyone see
cure
anything?
wounds on him or something?
Did anyone- Can you do something?
I can't. Yeah, I can. I mean, he
Yeah,
seems
do that.
to be okay.
No,
sure.
he's
I
not
will.
right.
I'll cast cure wounds on Fitz.
You cast cure wounds on Fitz, and he's like, "Ooh, there are bubbles in my blood."
I don't think it helped.
Oh man. Okay.
The wounds don't seem to be
All
physical.
It's not what we
Maybe
need right
mental, judging by his face. Clearly mental. Yeah.
Did anyone see him eat
Ah.
anything, drink anything, inhale anything?
He had some of this tea if you want to try some.
Why would I want to try something he just tried if he looks
Oh.
like that?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would I want to do that?
I did a bad job, guys.
You did what?
Kellwise,
No,
roll me
wasn't
Kellwise
me.
and Dresden. Both you guys roll a perception check because this tea is pungent, and you guys are both used to this smell, or at least have been around this smell quite excessively.
7.
All right, Kellwise, it's maybe masked by the tea, and you're just not expecting it.
I think I burned my nose out last time I smelled it. 4.
Of
Yeah.
course. So yeah, you both smell it. It's some sort of herbal tea.
Definitely tea.
This is herbal tea.
Did he bring this? Is this
Did he make
his-
this? Who made this?
Do you think someone tried to poison?
Why are you
Fitz?
making that face?
I think I mixed it up with Danjer leaves, guys.
You think you did, or you did?
I might have. I can't remember.
You can't
you know
remember 15
memories
minutes ago when you made this tea.
Well, my mind's all messed up.
Cornelia, did you drug Fitz?
The amount of laughing that Cornelia is doing right now seems to insinuate that maybe she drugged Fitz. a
There's a
little bit.
50-50 chance.
Oh yeah, it's 100%.
Cornelia, look at me. What the fuck is the matter with you? Do you see where we are? We have pet rocks now. There's leather daddies in the sky. And everyone we've ever talked to about this place has said that no one survives.
Is that what they say?
The child has one fucking arm.
I thought it was just a mysterious place. Not that people died.
Well, it's mysterious in the fact that everyone that goes in
Never
doesn't come out.
Oh.
Oh? Oh, as in that's news to you? Have you been fucking paying attention? You're just
He's
nodding now.
fine.
You've gone nonverbal.
He's fine. He's fine.
He's fine? I look
at
at him. Is he fine?
Yeah, and he looks up, and you just see him going.
Look how happy he is.
He's trying to lick the sky. That's not fine.
He's he's fine. He's happy.
You know what? He's your responsibility.
If that's what you
And if
want.
he dies, I'm personally going to escort you to the nobles that raised him so you can explain why he died.
You know who they are? We could have dropped him off this whole time.
Yes, I know who they are. I was originally tasked with bringing him to them. What feels like 10
What are we
lifetimes
doing
ago.
here?
Don't let him die. I start
All right.
leading us off.
Hey Fitz, how you feeling in there?
Oh, just great, Kellwise. Just great.
See, he's having a good time.
I've tasted the color blue.
It's tasty. Have
How
you tried
was it?
purple? She's she's
Purple.
talking to me.
Yes, Cornelia, shut your mouth.
Oh, fuck.
Purple?
Purple. Ooh,
Tell me about purple.
all right. Purple. And he continues on in a weird stupor.
We just link arms, you know, just to make sure he doesn't wander off. The rope isn't
Okay.
enough.
You guys, you guys link arm and continue walking. You guys travel now that the giant gust of this pollen has passed. You guys walk in the direction of where the shadows point you, and you do notice that the shadows just move ever so slightly. Cowwise and Dresden, you guys have done a little bit of tracking, and you notice this thing is like whatever their shadows are pointing towards, it seems to be moving. You guys travel for an entire day like this, and you're still
It's
just
moving?
in this. The shadow
Yeah,
itself
whatever.
just moves ever so slightly when you take a break.
Does it
It's moving
track with
slower.
the fact that we're moving, or does it seem to be moving independent of our motion?
Both. So you'll move from one
Great.
area to another, and you'll notice that it's there. And every so often, when you're looking at their shadows, and you're not moving, it'll tilt just so slightly. Always in the
Great, okay.
same general direction, though.
Everybody, huddle up. Looks like Hojo might be on the move.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That would make it hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that kind of tracks with what we were told, and then we'll find it sort of when we least expect it. I
And it's a
half
good thing
expected
we made
it to be
friends with these
invisible.
guys.
Yeah, no
So
kidding.
can we just all agree right now to not expect to find it?
Why?
Yeah.
We are going in the direction these shadows move.
I get where you're coming from. Yeah. We are going in that direction.
But we are not expecting to find it.
Oh,
Probably
of
never
course.
gonna
We're
find
not
it.
expecting to find it at all. No.
And you guys travel for about another day, maybe
I don't
6
get it.
hours. A while into your travels,
Just
you
feed her
guys,
some ganji. We'll be
you're
fine.
walking, and you guys
I'm gonna
hear
feed her one of those fucking flying beasts.
you hear a sudden Cowwise. Why are you
What?
holding my hand?
Oh.
Is
You're
it
back.
me holding it or Cowwise?
I think Cowwise
No.
had linked arms.
That's me. Yeah. We're you. Actually, let's start over. How are you?
Oh, I feel. Oof. I feel like my insides, I might have eaten something unsavory.
Yeah, I think it was that tea you really wanted really bad.
Yes,
just
it
didn't
seems
agree
to
with-
have been moving right through me.
Yeah.
Excuse me for a second. And He
Okay.
kind of runs on the other side of a spire.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll give him a
Gets
minute.
eaten.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not back in a few minutes, we'll have to go search for him, I suppose.
Is he attached to a rope still?
Well,
Was. No, he disengages the rope.
Dang.
Great.
don't get without or out of shouting distance.
All right. All right.
I'll maybe give him a few minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys give him a few
Hmm.
minutes. And you guys give him more than a few minutes. And he comes back. Looking a little lighter. Face still a little pale. But better. And you guys had noticed that that those dark clouds have started to wash over the top of you, and winds start to be picking up in the distance, and you guys start to hear what sounds like a low rumbling sound, and you can almost feel it in the ground. And those rockadillos that you've been with start to look up to the sky and start yelling out into the air, and you guys see a number of those strange chameleon like we'll call them Camila Baas, and they start to climb very, very quickly up high as you see winds start to blow small pieces of plants and stuff whipping up almost in these angry patterns, and small rocks and stands start to flow, and you see another one of those rockadillos, maybe a much bigger one this time, roll kind of up and down the slopes of these spires and start swirling around within the canyons next to you, and you hear a bunch of those off in the distance as winds start to pick up and this terrible storm starts to roll through above you all. And that's where we're going to pick up next week.
Oh.
Damn!
Thank you.
Did we
for,
find a storm or did we find Hojo?
Sticking with us.
Why the fuck would you drug Fitz?
Just some light
Some excitement.
I said a
I'm
very
just
tiny
glad-
bit.
Some
I
light
didn't want
drugging.
him to do.
No big deal.
I'm just glad
Fitz
someone
is
else
horrible
got
to
the
Cornelia.
serious Dresden yells other than me.
Fitz is so mean to Cornelia.
He really is. He's mean to Trust too. That's why we don't like him.
Yeah,
He's mean to everyone. That's his charm.
Nope, not
No.
charming.
It's not charming.
He had it
You know what?
coming.
You know what, Dresden? It's that human privilege. You're just not seeing it right now.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Human privilege.
You being a human.
That was so funny.
I wasn't. I wasn't
know what?
originally gonna do Danji, and then it just came out, and then that's what happened.
And I was like,
lived.
"Yeah."
It's okay. He
Like-
spouted nonsense for 6 hours, but he's fine.
Yeah, he just talked nonsense and then went and pooped. Like he's fine.
Yeah.
Pooped it out. It's fine. He pooped it out.
Is Cullen human?
Could you-
He is portion of a god. Oh, that's true. I don't think we need to. I don't even think we need to say Dresden's part god though. That's,
Yeah, he's quarter.
Yeah.
that's not good for anybody.
God.
Thank you everyone for hanging out with us. We had a blast.
He already
We'll be
has
back.
a god complex.
We'll be back next Monday with more of our Chronicles of Aventide. Well, hopefully we'll find Hojo. Maybe so, maybe not. I don't know. Who knows?
Or maybe we'll
Hopefully
all just
we-
die.
Find
maybe we'll
Hojo and our other
all
two
just
players.
Die. Yeah. You know.
They come back and we're all dead.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so
Oh,
depressing.
We did
That's only happened to one group I've heard of, where someone wasn't there, and so the character was like, "Oh, I'll just stay in bed," and then the whole party died, and he came back the next day, and no one told him, and he shows up, and it's all new characters, and he was like, "Oh no!"
It's so messed
Oh,
up. But
man.
we're
That's
out of
in-
time.
I would have definitely ran a session where like it's still Saturday night, everyone's coming over, but you only have them come over, and then it's like you run a full session where like they discover everyone's dead body.
Oh my god.
That would be like
Yeah, you
Cornelia,
would use
Cornelia, and the Remoraz. If you guys had all died to the Remoraz, and Cornelia's just laying in bed, where did it go?
Exactly.
He would have
Just
never
came
found him
back and
too.
was like, what do you mean Trust is not with us?
I don't even think they would have known if they had died. They would just would have eaten them all, and they would have gotten covered in
Oh.
snow.
They didn't leave a note.
Never
they
came back.
didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everyone left.
awful. Always, everyone, always, if you go out into the snow hunting monsters, tell
Leave a
somebody where you
note.
are. Yeah, leave a note.
Tell
Leave a
someone
note.
where you're going.
Someone where you're at.
Don't
Alright.
go out into the snow hunting monsters is actually the real lesson to be learned. From that.
Correct.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
Yeah, try and convince
Correct.
more than one D&D player not to go out to the snow hunting monsters. Good luck. That's a high DC. We're gonna take off. Thanks. We had a lot of fun. We'll see you next Monday with more of our Chronicles of Aventide campaign. Please take care of yourself this week, and remember to take care of each other. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful night. Good night, everybody.
Sweet
Thank you.
dreams.
Adios, everybody.
Thanks for watching.